Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 319. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. Woo, Router.
Yeah, buddy.
You are back in the great 48.
That's right. I'm in Central Time Zone again.
Yes, sir.
It's good.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Back trapped on land?
No longer on the island sipping little pineapple smoothies.
Just on the big island.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm on the mainland, yo.
Mainland, baby. Tell them what you want.
Man, it is good to be back, but we had just an amazing time in Hawaii. It was so much fun being able to record out of my balcony overlooking a pool and just being able to still talk to you guys. It was awesome.
Nice.
Shortly after that, when we recorded, we ended up we explored all of Oahu. We had our rental car and we just kind of went everywhere, and it was just so cool. We ended up going to this ranch over on the east side that they have all these different activities you can do, like ATV, horseback ride, and we were able to do what's called a Raptor ride, which is like a Kawasaki Raptor or something like that, which is a 6-man ATV, but it's covered and it's safe. And we basically went into the valley where they shot Jurassic Park and Lost and Jumanji, and it was just this beautiful valley with just green mountains around it, and then there's a beach right there, which is just it was just so cool. So we it was like an hour drive around the whole valley, and they were showing us all these different places where they filmed. And Piper just got the biggest kick out of the fact that Jumanji was filmed there. She loves that movie for some reason. It's hilarious. And so we did that, and we of course Piper just wanted to be at the pool half the time. And then we had a late flight on Friday, probably the last flight out at like 8 o'clock. And so we checked out of our hotel and we went over to Pearl Harbor, and we were able to do a tour of the USS Missouri, which is where the treaty was signed that ended World War II. And we did the little audio tour. Piper loves audio tours. When we were in Philly, like, she wanted to make sure we all synced up and put the same numbers in and hit play together. And she was great. Like, it was a 2-hour tour. They took a bus ride over to where the USS
tour.
Exactly. And so we did that. And then there's also a submarine there called the USS Bowfin, and that was only like a 45-minute little audio tour thing. And Piper she was so good. She had so much fun, and she really enjoyed it. And man, that place is just a powerful place to be and just observe. And it was really, really cool. And the beauty of it is that the Pearl Harbor Center is like 8 minutes from the airport. So after we did our tour, we just went over and jumped on a plane and headed back. And we basically took the red eye. So we connected in Denver at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And then by 11 o'clock, we were here. And it worked out. It worked out really, really well. It was just a really fun, good family time, and I'm so appreciative of it. I'm glad we were able to do it. And
it was just the three of you guys, right?
Yeah, it was just the three of us. No. I mean, it was
Paxton didn't go?
Yeah, right. You would think. I would have left him there.
People in Hawaii,
right?
Exactly. Barking and biting at people.
Exactly.
You get a lawsuit.
Exactly. So. So now we're back, and you know what's funny? Like, jet lag really doesn't bother me that much. Like, we got back, I unpacked, did laundry, and Lauren and Piper. Lauren was really out, and Piper was okay, but I think we all ended up napping for a little bit on Saturday, and then I woke up like an hour later and just like got everything unpacked and just kind of got settled back in. And so yeah, man, now things are in full swing. I'm looking right now at a beautiful full moon at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes,
and
that thing, boy.
That thing is bright. It's coming through.
I was looking out for werewolves last night.
Exactly. Speaking of which, is this our Halloween edition, by the way? It must be, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it really?
I guess so.
It must be, because we'll record.
That's a shame.
Yeah, right? We'll record.
I'm not dressed up or anything.
Well, I got my pizza costume on right now. Didn't you know? You can't see that? So Piper's topic of the week this week is Daddy's haircut, because I decided to just shave my head. So that's what
Really?
Yeah, that's what I did. I'm like,
oh, wow.
And like my hair has just been all like wonky, and I'm like, let's just buzz it, start over, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I did, and so she got to take part in it. Lauren, we got some trimmers, and then Lauren did it, and Piper got to do some, and then nice. it was a lot of fun, and she got all excited. And then last night, my buddy Ash texted me. He's like, "Hey, I got 2 tickets to the Preds game against the San Jose Sharks." So Piper and I went to the Preds game last night.
It was you guys' fault.
Yeah, exactly. And it was it was good. It was a great game up until the last 8 minutes of the third period, but we ended up losing 5-4. But it was a high-scoring game, and because they scored 4 goals, we get free Frosties today.
Oh, and, nice.
Yeah, so it was fun. I really do. I hope she remembers and enjoys these hockey times, because I certainly do. It's fun little daddy-daughter stuff. She had her Ryan Ellis jersey on, and the good thing is my buddy Ash has his daughter. He has a daughter that's 6 as well, and she was there, and so the two of them were just chatty Cathy, because they've hit it off so well before, and so it was really cute to have them together, and we just had a really, really great time. And so now I'm super tired because I didn't go to bed till like 1 or so. I almost pulled a Ned Placencia and just stayed up all night, right? So
there is a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So on the gaming front, I'm still knocking out Tomb Raider, and I'm kind of getting antsy. I just want to finish it because Assassin's Creed Odyssey is right there staring at me, and I'm just like, I want to get to that more than anything. But I am enjoying Tomb Raider. There's some frustrating parts in the challenge tombs and that kind of stuff, but
do you feel like you're nearing the end, or do you not really sure?
I don't really know yet. I mean, there's still lots of things to level up. The thing I hate is that there are places on the map that you need to get a certain item or a tool, and you ended up have to go back to it. Like, there's no real easy way to get back to it. Like, I just got the lockpick, and like there were 2 treasure chests that I was looking for earlier in the map, and when I tried to access them, like, oh, you need the lockpick. I'm like, well, I'm not coming back here to get that now. So
yeah,
I kind of just hate that stuff. It kind of disrupts the flow of where you're going, because I like to systematically go to each spot on the map and then just kind of really explore everything and try and find as much as I can. But it's all good. It's still a fun game, and I'm enjoying it. But man, that Odyssey, I cannot wait to get into that and just have a good time with it. But that is pretty much it for me. It is good to be back, gentlemen.
Yeah,
nice.
man.
There you go.
Yes, glad you're back home.
Thank you.
Right?
Edward,
Yes, sir.
you had said on Twitter
Yes.
that's been a rough week.
It's
Yeah,
been
brother.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend for sure.
I'm sorry. Tell us about it.
Well, the Tapmans came over, and no.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, Lord have mercy.
My gosh.
I guess it's all in the inflection, because they actually did come over Friday nights.
Oh, man. Poor
I
Tapmans.
love you, Ed.
Exactly. They're the butt of all my jokes. Played some Jackbox, played the new party pack with them, and had a fun time, had a good night. Nathan had been back. He had just gotten back from a European trip to Bulgaria and the area. Oh, that rhymed. And he's going back. I don't know where he is now. He travels a lot. And so it was a nice chance. The girls and the kids went away for a bit, so it was just a nice chance to kind of reconnect with him. I hadn't seen him in about a month, and hang out and chat and what have you. So that was really nice. And then later in the night, they were over. Of course, they're usually over till about midnight, 1 o'clock. And as they were leaving, I went into the bedroom and checked my phone and saw I had a couple missed calls from Mom. And, it's not unlike her to call, but it is unlike her to call twice in a night. So I texted my sister and was like, hey, I saw I missed a couple calls from Mom. Is everything cool? And she wrote back and was like, no, you should probably talk to her. So called her Saturday morning. And Mom's had a history of cancer scares, skin cancer scares, getting things removed, getting this looked at, getting this removed. Okay, now we've got it. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Now we've got this. Everything's fine. And she went in last week for another, routine. Got to go get this taken care of, and I had joked around with her that, hey, do you have a punch card there at the hospital? Do you get your 10th one free? What's going on there?
Oh, man.
Jeez.
And she came back and said, yeah, everything is fine, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess on Friday she had gotten a call from her doctor saying, actually, it turns out everything is not fine. And this is a lot bigger and more aggressive than we thought. We're going to recommend a double mastectomy. And at that point, I was talking to Mom, and she's like, at that point, I just tuned out. She's like, the doctor just kept talking, and she's like, I don't know what they said. They could have given me the cure, and I wouldn't have heard it. It's just, you're in that phase of, and it was just really weird being in this situation where, as you get older, you get to that point where roles start to flip, and you become the parent.
That's right.
Yep.
And you find yourself giving words of comfort, and, and it was just, the most frustrating part is the fact that she's really scared, and like any situation, people don't know what to say. And she's like, I'm sick of people saying it's in God's hands. She's like, I know it's in God's hands, but I'm still afraid.
Right.
And she said,
this is my real life. This is
exactly
this is not a Hallmark card.
Right. And she said, I start to feel like I'm a bad Christian because I'm afraid. And I'm like,
not at all.
like, Mom, Jesus was like, hey, I don't want to do this. Can we possibly get around this?
Yeah, exactly. If there's another way, I'd really like not the plans you got laid out right now.
So if he felt that, I think it's okay that we feel like that.
Yeah, man, do not feel guilty about that at all, brother. It's so great.
It was just, I told her, if we didn't feel afraid, we probably wouldn't feel that need for a God, That's right. Yeah. And so and it was a really good conversation. We talked for a couple hours, and I got her to laugh, and just a really nice conversation. And so it was really good. And then afterwards, I was telling Sarah about it, and we were talking about it, and then we played some Legos. And then a couple hours after that, went to cook some food, and it was just me out there in the kitchen, and I was like, name of the device. I don't want to say it because it's sitting right here on the desk.
I know it should be April.
Right. Janet.
I wish we could just rename it or whatever.
Hey, Cortana.
Jeez.
Play Coldplay. And that was a mistake.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Because Fix You came on. And it got to the part where they sing Tears Stream Down Your Face, and I was like, oh, I guess you're right. And I was just, there was a book and a movie that came out a few years ago called Like Water for Chocolate, and it was basically about how powerful cooking is. And if you put love into cooking, the food tastes better, kind of like a fairy tale of whatever emotion you're feeling that goes into the food. And that's what makes food so good. And Sarah had a big crying chicken on Saturday. I was just cooking and crying. And
that's amazing.
And, no need for the salt now.
No need for the salt.
No, I'm good.
That's right.
I just got my tears.
Hold the salt. Yeah, we got it.
So Ed, what's the course of action now? Like what's happening?
She goes in about 3 weeks. She doesn't have a date yet for the actual operation. She had a doctor's appointment yesterday that she was just kind of dreading, just because she knew she probably wouldn't remember everything, and would just, her mind would wander and that kind of thing. So she's just, we've got like 3 weeks for her to just kind of sit, and she's like me. If you sit on something,
you're gonna stew.
I go dark, and I do not go dark, and I just dwell on it. And she's like me, so she has a couple weeks just to sit and be afraid, and it's just like, I just
right.
I hate that,
Yeah, that's the worst. We are sorry, Ed. We are definitely.
I appreciate
you
it.
Up over here, man.
And I appreciate your messages and the messages from the community over the weekend. On my Twitch stream Monday, I kind of went into my weekend and talked about it, and just had a really nice response from just a ton of people. So thank you guys. Awesome. It's been awesome to know I've got so many people out there, rooting and cheering, and just hearing from people. Who are like, hey, I just lost my mom 2 weeks ago. If you need anything, let me know. And it's just like,
man.
No, you should still be grieving. Don't worry about me, And
exactly.
It's like, oh, man, that's too sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a nice another nice reminder of just how many good people I've got around me. That was one nice thing
awesome,
about
brother.
it for sure.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, so it's been good. Just reconnecting with my sister and my brother and what have you, and just kind of bonding together and tackling that.
Yeah.
On the gaming front, it's been Hold
on a second. I want to say real quick.
Yeah.
How is it now for you to go on Twitch and always have someone watching you? Like you've hit that point to where you don't get on there anymore and sit there by yourself.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Every time you get on,
you're a celebrity now.
I don't know if I've been on, and not that the numbers are crazy, but I don't know if I've ever come on recently where there's less than 10 people in there.
That's about the average, unless on a Jackbox day it goes up. But yeah, the average is around 10 or so, and it's been really nice.
How is that? That's got to be awesome.
It's great. It's really, it's like Married to the Games. It's a community.
Yes.
And it really is, and you really get to know people, and you really get to share things, and it's been really, really nice. It's been very, very humbling, and it's just been a really cool experience overall. And for the most part, I just started really doing it in July, so it's still pretty new. And to have a regular base like that, it's just been really nice. That's awesome. I've really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Good.
Yeah, that's always the weird. Like, I don't stream a ton, and I haven't done it in a while. But when I do, it's always like, I'm just gonna talk like there's hundreds of people here.
There you go.
And I'm gonna keep looking down the chat. No one's there. All right. That means I can focus on this task at hand.
Yep.
I just think of it as like I'm recording for the YouTube channel to upload later. I just got to think of it that way.
Radio.
It's just me chatting.
It's radio.
Exactly. And that's the difference, Chris. And you definitely find people who you go on their stream and they're just sitting there playing the game and not talking.
Yeah.
And and that's why you're good at when you stream. That's why you're so good at it. Is because you can entertain yourself, which in turn entertains us, so
that's right.
I just try to entertain myself. It's like, maybe somebody else will think this is funny.
That's all you gotta do, man.
Just doing dad jokes all the time.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I should do. I should just stream just video, like the camera pointing right at me, and I just read. This is Chris's dad jokes of the week, the ones I found.
Right.
You'd have so many views.
I would be there front and center.
Find that shtick, baby. Find it.
Right.
Make it work.
Still checking in on Forza Horizon 4 about once a day, every day and a half, just to cash in the little influence things I get from still spamming that stream and doing that. It's not in a rage quit kind of way, but I think at least for now I think I'm done with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Ooh,
really?
And it's the first Assassin's Creed game once I started it, I haven't finished. But
wow,
I'm just
no, it's not.
I don't know if it's with everything leveling up with me that I kind of like having that. I'm going to go here and get these guys 2 levels down and kind of exercise for a bit before I go in here. And I don't know if it's that or I don't know what it is, but for some reason I'm just... when I play it, I enjoy the missions. I still enjoy sneaking around, but I'm just kind of like, I don't think about it. It's just kind of like, I might get to it, but I know Red Dead's this week, and I know I'm going to play that. So
do you think that has anything to do with your? Is Red Dead kind of in your peripheral, and you're like, or is it peripheral or peripheral?
Peripheral.
I think it's
peripheral.
We'll
is a controller, right?
The perf.
Is
out your side eye?
Is it your perfy perf?
That's right. Perfy
The perfy perf.
Do you think that Red Dead is what's helping push
you,
Assassin's Creed out, knowing that it's coming?
Now it is, but until then, Lego DC Supervillains squashed it.
Yes, sir.
And that game was so much fun. And Sarah and I finished that this week. And we had a blast and so much fun. And just kind of knowing... And I guess that's the thing is when I play Assassin's Creed, I have fun. I enjoy it. I still like the stealth. I still like trying to be stealthy. I still like the sneaking around. But when push comes to shove, I would rather replay the Lego missions to try to get all the collectibles.
Dang
it. I'll probably go back to Assassin's Creed after this onslaught of games has ended. In early
When's
January
that?
when
Yeah,
we
when
have.
is that gonna happen?
February's coming right after January.
That's the thing, though. Early January, right after Christmas,
gonna put
there's
on
usually
pause.
nothing.
There's
and
not a
so
ton
I got-
coming out in December right now, is there?
I don't
You
think
think you'll
so.
be done with Red Dead by January?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, the way Ed's
You're
schedule
talking
is,
to
he could finish
Edward
it in a
Placencia,
weekend.
streaming fanatic.
Exactly.
Over here. He was going to be done with it in like a week. He'd be like, I haven't
Yep.
slept.
I know, but I'm gonna be the devil on his shoulder, constantly asking him to play Jackbox like every other day.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
I mean, you ain't trying to stream some Jackbox today. What about some Jackbox today? Like when I go to text him, sometimes I go, what? What are you talking about, Alexa? Yeah, out of no place talking about something she don't know that.
It's Halloween, baby. Let's do this.
I know, exactly. That would be the most amazing thing that Amazon could do. Is start having those on purpose actors, like start doing that laugh again like it did earlier this year.
Oh right.
People be like, okay, I know. You're gonna throw it in the trash. But like, so I'll pick up my phone to text Ed and be like, Jackbox, but I'm like, okay, let me just go check his Twitch and see how much fun he's having. If it sounds like he's not having that much fun, I'm gonna text him, see if we can get this Jackbox going.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Because that was so fun. So fun. God.
That new pack is so much fun. It's such a good time. They just killed it with that new pack.
So I hear. I got to check in one day. I was at home at lunch. I was like, oh, he's going to be doing it. And there's some dude playing Fortnite. And I'm like, what's up with this? And then I'm like, Ed should be starting any minute because apparently you were doing like a hosting thing, which I feel like I had vaguely heard of that, but I didn't realize that was what's going on. I thought something weird happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it'll switch over when he starts. And it didn't switch over for me. That was awesome.
so weird that it
So I
didn't.
caught like him starting it up and being like, all right, guys. And I was like, well, I got to go to work now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm going to be more diligent on the refresh button next time.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was a fun time. And then yesterday played the Spüder-Man DLC, The Heist, and that all I can say, it's not a spoiler, but they released the new game plus or whatever it's called, where you can start over and have all of your powers.
Right.
And I started that. I was like, I better get stretched up before I head into the DLC.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Get used to these controls. And that is highly recommended because
Nice.
they start you in it. Like,
Oh, really?
You
'Cause
are
it's hard.
You are fighting, and so
And you go fight somebody.
you're gonna fight someone, just so you know, and you're gonna fight them right away. So get your practice in, you guys. If you haven't played Spüder-Man since it came out, get your practice in and enjoy yourself. I did. It was a great time. Another great story. They killed it again. And
Really?
Nice.
How long is it about?
it was about just almost exactly 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Nice.
So yeah,
you go.
definitely something you can do in one go.
One sitting, yeah.
Yeah, and really good content.
And you like Black Cat or whoever it is?
I do. Yeah, it's it's hard to not compare her to Catwoman.
Yep.
Right.
And they definitely
I
talk
don't know if you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I know, right? They definitely talk about things that this is the first time I think I wished I knew the Spider-Man lore. Just
okay,
because
yeah.
they talk about, well, this and this. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that. Oh, okay, great. But so, yeah, it was, she's a fun character. And it was a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. A good week
like it.
overall.
Yes.
Yes.
It came around.
It came around. Yes.
That's good, brother.
With a little help from your friends.
Little help from my friend.
There you go.
Thank you.
Chris McCracken?
Yes.
What's going on with you, man?
Well, this week was actually fairly busy. So on Saturday is when I was like, oh, you know what? Stacy's coming home soon. Better knock out this old list that she's got for me.
I know that's right, man.
I mean, I actually had
would be
done
smart.
like a handful of the things, but I left all the big tasks for like, I need a weekend. I'm going to do
pour
it.
concrete slab.
Exactly.
Let me get started on that one.
I mean,
She just
nothing
landed.
that
Let me
big.
get started.
I'm using, when I say the big stuff, I'm using air quotes here. Big stuff. But I went ahead and knocked out those things. One thing that I needed to work on that I hadn't done yet is her old car, the one that we are trying to decide like what do we want to do with it. Do we want to sell it? What do we want to do to that car? The battery had died, so I need to go get that tested and go back and forth with the thing. It turns out the battery was like 4 months out of warranty, so I ended up having to buy a new one, which wasn't a huge deal, but I was just like, man, because I was like, I'm pretty sure this battery is still covered because it shouldn't be dead right now. So I was just a little bit past the warranty, so that kind of stunk. But then I got it all hooked up, drove it around for a little bit over the weekend, and then I've been driving it this week as well. I'm not. It seems to be driving fine, which is good. So hopefully we'll kind of come to a decision on what we're going to try to do with it. The problem is that like the check engine light is still on, so I know there's other things that need to be taken care of. The windshield's got like this crack in it so I'm like, if we take it to a place like a CarMax or whatever and try to sell it, I mean, I know we're not going to get anything for it. So it's like, well, is it better to do like a tax write-off, or is it maybe actually worth more than I realize that it's worth? It's just that kinds of stuff. And I haven't sold a car in forever. Like, I don't want to go haggle with somebody, you know? Like if I put it in Auto Trader or whatever, it's like I want to get our time's worth out of it, but I also want to just do whatever's going to be the easiest way to, if getting rid of it is indeed what we decide to do. We may decide to hang on to it and use it as the car whenever like it's really bad weather, and we'll just drive that one around or something. I don't really know exactly. Just trying to figure out what we're going to do there. But got all that stuff taken care of, and then on Sunday, Stacy's cousin got married out in this northeast Texas area. I don't know what it is. It's this big piece of land where they have multiple spots on this piece of land where they can, I think it's actually, at least the part where they got married is like a tree farm. So at first I thought it was more like a vineyard because they had all these little things set up, but they were spread out a little bit, and it's where they were growing like smaller trees. It's apparently going to grow real big, and I don't know if then they sell them off, and I don't know exactly what you do with a tree farm, but they got married out in the middle of all this wooded area. It was really, really pretty. And then afterwards, the reception was just a little ways down the way in this big tent, and they were serving breakfast food, which was amazing because I like me some breakfast food. And
me too, brother. Right there.
Exactly. And it was really good. It was great to see a lot of her family and see her cousin and everything like that. And then the only thing that was a little unfortunate is that, and I don't know if it's because they had breakfast food out, so like there's people throwing away plates with like syrup on them and all this kind of stuff like that, but it ended up starting to be bees like everywhere.
Oh no!
Around the place, like
what the heck?
Yeah, so the way that we kind of took care of it is that they just pulled all the trash cans as far away from the tents as you could, because staged around like the exits and stuff, there'd be a trash can or whatever, and that kind of helped it out, but it was like they're doing the speeches and they're like having as well, like, oh my, the person doing the speech is like, oh, man, I am getting swarmed here, and they have to move and then keep going with their speech. So that part was a little bit like unfortunate, but it really wasn't that bad. And as far as I'm aware, nobody got stung or anything like that. So, thank goodness for that, because there were also a lot of kids there. So that
doesn't make a totally good story then.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that none of the kids got stung. I'm glad none of the kids did. If any of the adults did, they hit it well, because I would have been like, I don't like getting stung. Getting stung is the worst. I get all nervous around like bees and wasps and stuff like that. We have a big problem with wasps here. At our old house, they would always put up several nests in the spring and everything, and then it's happened not quite as much at this newer house that we have, but it definitely happens. And man, I am like out there bundled up. I got the jacket on. I got the spray. I'm like spraying them. I'm like swatting at him, knocking the nest.
He's got a beekeeper outfit on.
Dude, I kid you not. I have thought numerous times on Amazon hovering over the beekeeper outfit, because they freak me out, man. I can't.
Oh, please give me a picture of that.
It weirds me the heck out. So if I do, I will send you a picture. I promise.
Please do. Yep.
We're gonna need somebody to Photoshop Chris's face on May's beekeeper costume from Overwatch.
I totally forgot May has a beekeeper outfit. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yep, May has a beekeeper outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she's got the best skins, Blizzard. Doesn't she, Gabe?
Shut up, Chris.
Outside of that, I did get an invite, as well as a lot of other people in our community seem to have gotten to the Project Stream thing.
Oh, nice.
I've not gotten a chance to jump in and try it yet, though. And I also got my invite to the PlayStation 4 beta, where you can change your name, and I'm like, well, I don't really need that either. So,
oh wow,
I looked at it because they changed it up. I think like the last time, or maybe the time before last, where it used to be that in an email, if I remember right, you would get an email with a code or a link, and then you would go in and tie that to your account, and then on your PlayStation 4, that's how you would access the beta software. I think they've changed it now, where they do send you an email with all the specifics, but you're actually getting the it's the system just pushes it to an like an alert in your system updates, and then you do it from there. Because I was thinking like, oh man, I could send this maybe to Gabe, and if he wanted to give it a shot to, because I know he's looking at maybe changing his name, but it doesn't look like I can transfer it over. So, and I'm not going to jump in there. I haven't jumped into any of the software updates in a while, because back when people were having the issue, we're like, oh, it's screwing up my system. And even though the system says, hey, you can always revert back to the previous software, it rarely do they have something in there where it's like, oh, I'm dying to try this out, so I do it right away. I haven't done it in the last, I'd say, 2 updates or so. So we'll just have to see. Outside of that, it was Stacy did come home yesterday. I picked her up from the airport
Nice.
middle of the day. It's a good thing, because originally the plan was that she was only going to be here for about 2 days, and then she was flying out to Denver for her last trip of the year, really, and going to be there about 2.5, 3-ish weeks or something like that. And actually it got pushed back, so now she's not flying out until I think like late afternoon or early evening on Saturday. So we'll have some time to actually spend and be together and everything like that. So I have not jumped into the Spüder-Man stuff, and I probably won't even get to it until like Sunday or sometime next week, because I'm just going to get as much Stacy time in as I can. But I'm definitely looking forward to the Spüder-Man stuff. I was thinking that it came out for some reason the same day as Red Dead, but then I was forgetting that Red Dead comes out on a Friday, and I was like, okay, cool. Right. So they've spread it apart a little bit, but I'm not going to be jumping in for probably about another week. So what I have been playing, I have jumped into a little bit of Overwatch, definitely getting the arcade loot boxes. I have a few more to get on my account, because I've also been getting them on Stacy's account. Played with a few people last Sunday morning for a while, Jared Orr and a couple of others. So that was a lot of fun. But I've mostly been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And
Nice.
It was a little bit of I think I mentioned before, a little bit of a slow roll for me to get into it, because like I didn't play Origins, and so it was completely different from the last Assassin's Creed that I had played in terms of the way the controls and everything, and then all the RPG progressions, more RPG-ish progression kind of stuff. But I kind of finally got my head wrapped around it, and I'm really enjoying the game. I have some different points of view than Ed does. The whole how the people at the bases, wherever they level up with you, that definitely is overall like annoying. I just wish that was not a thing. However, I don't know if this is more how it goes, but I feel like I've gone to a few different camps now where I find it, and as long as I haven't like really wandered off the beaten path to an area where I really don't need to be yet, where everybody's like 10 levels above me, most of the time when I go to a camp, they'll either be my exact level or they'll be 1 or 2 below me. So that's definitely a little more helpful.
Right.
But I've also kind of gotten I've opened up a few abilities that have made it to where, okay, now if I go to a camp, even if it's like there's tons of people, let's say there's 20 guys there, and then there's the 2 captains, because usually there's 2 or 3 guys in there that are really tough. And I've pretty much figured out my way of how I can take down that entire encampment each guy without really alerting anybody else. I can do it pretty stealthy now. And so I'll whittle them down to where it's just the captains that are left. And then maybe I can, if they're my same level, I can usually take on 2 captains at a time. Now, because if my health gets down enough, I'll just run away. Now, I did unlock some ability, or maybe I always had it and I didn't realize it, but you can like regain your health or something if you hit. Oh yeah, I think it's R2 and L2 or something. And maybe it's you have to get your adrenaline to a certain point. I don't know. I really never pay attention to the adrenaline meter. I just, when my buttons light up and say I can do my ability, I do it. I'm not really paying attention. So I don't know if that was something that I unlocked in an ability and I didn't realize it, but now I can kind of regain my health so I can stay in the fight, which is nice. But if I need to, I'll just run around, let my health regen a little bit, and then come back, and usually I can finish them off. The thing that for me, that's kind of problematic, if you will, I think that there's just way too much to do. Like it's the map.
We say that every Assassin's Creed.
Are we talking Witcher 3? Like way too much to do?
Well, I didn't play Witcher 3.
Gets me very excited.
I didn't play Witcher 3, so
no, you'll love it.
But the thing is, like the previous Assassin's Creed that I played, which I only played Black Flag and Syndicate. Yes, there was stuff on the map, and like I didn't play Unity. I heard Unity's map was ridiculous.
Oh,
so
yes,
I can't compare
awful.
it to that. But I just mean in each area of the map, when you unlock a new spot, there's just so many people to talk to, so many different things. Go here, do this. This one's a timed thing. This one's that. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like I get lost in the little quest log. Now you can filter it to where it's like just show me the main quest, and I've done that a few times because really I'm just trying to. I want to finish the story out, and then, we'll see about that and going back and doing things. It's just that there's just so much to do, and a lot of the missions are really just, or not a lot. A lot of the side things to me, or a handful of the side things to me, are very just like fetch questy, and I'm doing them because I know I need to level up, and level up. It's not crazy slow, but because I'm not interested in doing any kind of XP boosting or paying any microtransactions, and I know that, I'm making sure that I'm doing a good, healthy amount of side quests because I want to maintain my level. And I know if I'm just focusing on main stuff, it's going to be a real slow process.
Yeah.
And a lot of the side ones, they're like, oh, go kill a bear and kill a deer and bring me their stuff so I can make this elixir or whatever. It's like, really? I mean, it's not interesting. So that's what I don't particularly like. But the missions that involve stealth or taking down the outposts, and even the story missions, I've enjoyed most of those. The naval combat is fun. It's very reminiscent of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think Black Flag was better, but then at the same time, maybe I haven't really upgraded my ship much, and I haven't done a ton on the boat, so maybe it opens up even more the further along that I get. It also... It's the least Assassin's Creed feeling Assassin's Creed that I've played, which I kind of like, but at the same time, I kind of don't. And what I mean by that is I think there's only, and I could be totally wrong, but from the little murmurings I've heard from people, I think there's only one time that you have to get out of the Animus and do the real world present day stuff, besides maybe towards the very end of the game. I finally reached that point, and I get out, and they're like, oh my gosh, your vitals are low or whatever. You need to stay out of the Animus for a minute or two, and there's a few things to look around in a room. And they're like, are you sure you want to get back in? I'm like, yeah, let's just get back in. I don't want to go over that and read those emails. I don't really care about those audio
I did
logs.
the same thing
I'm
in Origins.
not interested in that at all. And then I pretty much just got right back in the Animus the minute it let me get in there.
Oh, nice.
But in the story itself, like when you're following along, I'm playing as Cassandra. I don't think there's been a mention inside the game world of the Templars once. I feel like that's always been a thing to me, and that was part of why I was like, look, we don't need... I understand how it all tied in the original, like, the idea for the game series and everything like that, but I feel like we've gotten to the point where it's like the present-day stuff doesn't matter. It's like, just continue the Templar story inside the Assassin world. But I don't think there's been any mention of the Templars. There's not been any mention of the Assassins. And outside of the fact that she does the synchronization and the jump off and into the pit of, leaves or whatever. Yeah. It could very well just be any other stealth action game.
That was the same way with Origins. Origins, I felt like, did the same thing in that you don't really hear much of Templars anymore. There's no conflict between Assassins and Templars, at least.
Which is weird, because I would have thought that would have had the most, because it's the origin. That should be telling you how the Templar Assassin War came to be. I would assume. I don't know. I didn't play it, but that's just...
Yeah, no, it was totally different. It's really more story focused on the character. It's not necessarily about the Assassin's creed, actually.
It's not
toward the end.
Living up
the
to its
finale
namesake.
is a little bit like that, but that's like it. Yeah, it's not that much.
Because in the few Assassin's Creed games that I've played, I've always kind of enjoyed that fight, that conflict of the Assassins versus Templars and everything. But I enjoy it in the game world, like in the old time setting wherever we are.
Exactly.
That's what I've always enjoyed, is them going against each other, and like you're hunting down usually towards the end of this game this main Templar at this game or whatever. And I feel like they could just continue it on. I don't think they can all be linked in that they're all just the new version of this eternal fight between the Assassin and the Templar. I don't think the present day stuff is needed at all. Now, I appreciate that they've minimized it so much to where I can basically spend as little time there as possible, because there's a subset of people out there, and I understand it, that really love the present day stuff. I think they're wackadoodle, but hey,
I agree.
At least it's there for you in a little bit. And I do like how that they've minimized it to where you can kind of please a bit of each person. There's a lot of the few things that I did look around, it's a bunch of Easter eggy kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, people who love this present day stuff probably eating all this Easter egg stuff up. I don't really know what this means. I'm just going to jump back in the Animus and go do some more hunting and stuff. But I really enjoy the overall combat. Now that I've kind of opened up a few abilities that have opened up the game for me, the stealth's much more enjoyable. I can actually do what I'm trying to do.
Nice.
I don't know. I can't tell for sure how far I am in the story. So I think it's one of those things where I'll finish out the story as quickly as I can, and then I'll go back and just play it a little bit over time. Red Dead Redemption, as Ed mentioned, is coming up this coming week. On Friday, I think is when it releases. I'm going to get the game. the more I hear about it, I'm just the less excited I get about it. And I know this is just a me thing. I understand that. And look, this has nothing to do with like that. I think the game's going to be bad, or it's not going to be polished, or it's not going to look good, or not be. I mean, I think it looks like it's going to be a beautiful game. And that's probably half the reason why I'm interested in it, because it looks so pretty. But I'm just not really much for GTA games, and if it's really just Old West GTA. And then there's a few other things that I won't mention because we've got way more people in our community than I feel like I even realize that are very, media blackout. So I'm not going to say anything, but there's a few things in particular that I've seen that they're like, this is in Red Dead, and this is in Red Dead, and this is, and I'm like, why are you putting that in the game? That does not entice me at all. That totally turns me off. So I actually think I'm going to go and buy the game physical because I anticipate taking it back and returning it. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. Hopefully, I really want to enjoy it. I want to be all hyped like everybody else is, but the more I see about it, the less intrigued I am. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but we'll find out.
Yeah, that's not good.
Right?
The more things that come out, the more you're supposed to like it.
I know, right?
I'm hoping. Again,
definitely
it's hard to just not explain what I mean, and I can explain it after the game's out and people have been playing it, and I can talk about what I was meaning. But the things that they've mentioned that have kind of made me a bit anxious is like, well, but these may be things that are really, really small parts of the game. If they're really small parts of the game, then I'm fine. But I'm anticipating the way they set it up that it's going to be more a part of the game than I want it to be. That's where my concern comes in. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I'll report back next week if I've gotten it by then, because I want to get Spider-Man out of the way first, and I won't even start that till next week. So we'll see.
Nice.
You know, one thing that about Assassin's Creed before you move on, Chris, that I found myself frustrated with is that I can't one-shot anybody with a bow and arrow, like even a headshot.
I can one-shot people based on the way that I've used my abilities, because I haven't fully done. There's like on the tree where the hunter side, I guess you could say. I haven't fully upgraded a lot of those things. Actually, the hunter side is the one I spent the less time on because I don't care about going out hunting.
Same, yeah.
But I think if I find like a captain, there's no captains or main people that I've been able to one shot. If it's a lower level person, I can one shot them every now and then. If I have some ability where before you shoot the arrow, you hit X and it like slows down the arrow and you can really guide it.
Right.
I can kill regular dudes with one shot. But I can't.
I hate
is that what you mean? Like you can't kill anybody with one shot, or just the boss guys?
Like, the way I've leveled up or whatever, I can't. Even a regular guy, if I hold my bow and the longer she holds it back, the stronger it gets, it still won't be a one shot. And it's like, I really miss. Yeah. I don't want to have to go up the skill tree in order to be able to one shot a regular peasant peon guard. Just like, man,
that's yeah.
You're crunching my stealth game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I am able to stealth or to one shot some of the lesser people currently, but I don't remember what skills I have done. I've spent very little. That's the only little rung inside the bow and arrow skill tree that I've even messed with. Everything else has been put into the warrior stuff, and then a few things in the stealth stuff here and there.
Yeah.
So I don't even know the names of them.
Yeah, I don't either.
Nice.
Well done. All right, Mr. Token Black Ops guy.
That was really funny.
That was hilarious.
Funny. That was a great picture of you.
Yeah, it looks just like you. It was awesome. I couldn't resist.
Oh, man. I don't even know now.
Oh, nice.
You know.
All right, well, let's get into new releases, shall we?
Will someone wake Gabe up?
Yep. Seriously.
Alexa, wake up Gabe.
Exactly.
The narcoleptic ninja.
Exactly. Yeah, chubby ninja. This week, man, it's been good. Chilling out.
Jeez.
Not much.
This guy.
All right, cool.
I did get the highlight of my week was I did get Jenny to play Jackbox Friday.
Oh, that was
with
fun.
Ed.
Oh, awesome.
And you have to understand, I approached her like a cowering child. I was like, hey, so question, and I know you'll probably say no.
That's amazing.
I was just like preparing my heart. I was like, because what happened was like the kids had gone down a little later than usual. So we had like this beautiful window of like 2 or 3 hours before Amara got home.
Oh, nice.
And it just happened to coincide perfectly.
That's amazing.
With no work Fridays. Mm-hmm. And I was like, would you want to like just try some Jackbox games? Like Ed's going to be streaming it. And so I had to like, she was like, what do you mean? I had to like explain the whole thing. Like Ed gets on his thing and then he puts it on the internet and then you can see Ed and then he's doing Jackbox and then we can do it from our phones while we're watching his stream. You know, I go through the whole thing. And she's like, I don't have time. And I was like, oh. I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, how long does it take? I was like, I don't know. A game could be like 15 minutes. And she was like, oh, well, I'll try a game then. Nice. So I just thought she was thinking that it would take forever. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But so we got on there, and I think the first thing we did wasn't Mad vs. City, was it? With Jenny? Maybe it was.
I think it was.
Yeah. And so we did Mad vs. City, and she like, it was just too overwhelming for her the first time.
Really?
Because like we've explained, it asks you for, it'll say, hey, you're going to fill in the blank. We're going to ask you for a word. So it might say, give me a verb or an adverb or a noun or a proper noun. Number one, your boy doesn't even barely know what an adverb is. So I'm like, a prepositional phrase. I don't know.
I had to look up what a preposition was. Like, give you a preposition? What?
Exactly. So what I do now, because you only have 3 minutes to write your rap, what I do now is right away when it comes up, I hit the suggestion thing just to see what they're talking about. Because when you hit suggestion, it'll put up something. So if it says, give me an adverb, and then it says, I should have started with that one because I'm going to say something that's not an adverb, but beautifully, you know what I'm saying? And so it'll say beautifully, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's what they mean. And then I'll do something else. You know what I'm saying? It'll say, give me a noun, cereal. And you're like, what does that mean? You know, and so then suggestion is easy because it'll just pop up there. So you can, anyway, she was struggling the first round. She was like, I don't like this. It's too much pressure. You know, the countdown's going. I'm trying to write mine and half of hers. And then we had to do like the just write it for me thing. And so it was funny. And the first round was awful, but people voted for her anyway, just for trying, I think. And then she really got into the next round, and then it quit working.
Yeah, it's been.
We were like, no, especially for me, because I was like, I finally got her to play.
I know. No. Oh, I hate that.
Yes, but that was a good time. And a couple days later, I was like, let me ask you something. How much fun was that? She was like, well, I was about to drop that fire. I'm just saying before the game stopped working.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, let's go. And then I got on. I was doing something. I don't remember if I was rendering something on my computer or something. But oftentimes, if I'm like bouncing the show down or something, I'll jump on Overwatch real quick or something on PlayStation. And Eric Thompson was on there, and so that was a good time to get to play with him and chat. And he's really good at Overwatch, so that was fun to. It's always fun to play with somebody who's good at it. And it's so weird because I think he started playing a lot later than I did, but me and him are the exact same level.
Really?
It's really weird. And like even when we played the other night, we both loot boxed at the same time, like both went to the next level at the same time.
Oh, that's funny.
He's playing more often than me, so he'll pass me up now, but it was just really weird to get on there and be the exact same level.
Right.
And then the other day, yesterday during Lem's stream of Overwatch, I jumped on there and I was, again, just doing something I just needed to fill, 20 or 30 minutes. And I saw that him and a bunch of people were playing. I think Sheldor was on there and Eric Thompson was on there and some other people whose name I didn't recognize. So I hit join group, which usually takes you to their game,
right? And
then if somebody drops out, plugs you in there, right? Am I understanding that's the way it works?
You got it.
So they lost a round, and they were like, Gabe, it's been like this all night, and I was like, oh really? I was like, that sucks. And I was like, well, good thing your Lucky Charm is here because we about to win this thing. And they were like, oh, well, let's hope so. And then they had a guy drop out. Like, as they were showing, the end stuff, you saw the little thing. And so I was like, cool, I'll get plugged in there. Game starts up. We're doing good. We're holding them off the point. And then in overtime, they get it. And I was like, shoot. I was like, that's so frustrating that they get it in overtime. And they go, what do you mean? And I was like, we had them. You guys have been losing all night. It's what, and I'm killing people and everything.
Right.
Everything's going good. Turns out I got put on the other team somehow.
Oh no.
So I'm actually playing against them.
That's hilarious.
So for some reason that made your boy try a little bit harder, honnly, if I would be.
Man, I would have been like, Junkrat's over here. Don't go that way because there's a Reaper gonna take you out. Reaper's got ult. Watch out.
That's what they kept saying. They were like, oh, well, just tell us where everyone is. And I was like, I mean, it's still a game, though.
Right.
And so we start playing, and my team ends up winning. And then I get to play in the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was so good. You couldn't have wrote it any better. It was so funny. Like, once we all realized that I was on the other team, and somebody was like, wait. My kill cam was just Gabe killing me with Roadhog because he does mystery. He likes doing the mystery heroes thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've actually fallen in love with.
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
can't
fun.
do that at all.
God, I love it now.
You got to branch out. Come on now.
Yes,
One day you got to not play a soldier. It'll be okay.
I don't know.
Baby steps,
we got
but
him
you
on
gotta
the
get
game. Let's not.
No. I've switched over to Bastion, but
Chris wants the stars and the moon.
I know. I'm at frustration level right now with Overwatch.
Yeah.
So me and Overwatch are having a bit of a fight right now. It's because it's just so frustrating because most of the matches that I get in, I'm like the lowest level guy, and I'm just getting drilled.
Right. Hey, Eric Thompson's still on Mercy. Tim can still be on Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. And he works it out with Mercy.
Right?
My goodness.
Yeah, he does.
He's really good with her.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was fun being able to, over this weekend, in the last couple of days, play with the community.
That's
more.
awesome, man.
Because coming off Spüder-Man, I didn't, play with anybody.
Right.
And so it was really fun. So again, thanks, Ed, for Jackbox Fridays.
Yeah, man.
It's just such a good time. And that's it for me. We got rehearsals. I leave for rehearsals right after this.
Oh, dang. Here we go.
Rehearsing for the tour. We leave next week. So
Snap.
Holy cow.
if we come to a city near you, holla at your boy. TobyMac.com. Check it out. We'll go to a game place or something. All right, Tim Router.
Yes, man.
You.
Wow.
Yes, man.
You like that?
Weird.
Yeah, it did sound weird.
It did sound a little weird as soon as I said it.
Gabe, you must be getting old. People are starting to call you man.
That's right.
No.
Yes, son?
Take it. You got it?
I do.
Well, let's do it!
All right, let's get some new releases going. For the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, Crayola Scoot. Good luck with that. Just Dance 2019 for the PS4, Xbox, Switch,
snap.
Wii U, Xbox 360, and Wii. It is out. Go get your
I need to
dance
get that
on.
for the kids.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Shoot.
Go get that. Nickelodeon Kart Racers for the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. As Eduardo and Chris have mentioned, Spüder-Man, the Heist DLC is out. My Hero 1's Justice for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And, of course, the big wig one on the 26th, Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PS4 and Xbox One.
Pow, pow.
Pow, pow.
Pew,
Pow,
pew.
pow.
Pow, pow, giddy up, pow, pow. Spoiler.
Spoiler. They shooting.
Spoiler alert, there's a horse and I got a gun.
It's high noon.
Nice.
Call of Cthulhu for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Hasbro Game Night for the Switch. There you go, Gabe. Lego Harry Potter Collection for the Xbox One and Switch. Risk for the Switch. Is that reverting back to the olden days? Is that what's going on there? Is that what the Switch is doing? It's like, hey, let's just grab any game we can. Remember that old game Risk? Let's throw that in there.
That's what it feels like.
Let's get our library going. including this
Chess
one.
on the
Exactly.
Nintendo Switch.
Including this one, Sports Party for the Switch.
Yeah.
Sports
Steep.
party.
Sports Party. That was my favorite song by The Lonely Island. Sports Party.
Hey, Sports Party.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Sports party. Let's have a ball. All right.
That's right. Steep, the X Games passed for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. Trivial Pursuit Live for the Switch. See, I'm telling you, man, they're going back. And finally,
Lord.
Super Pixel Racers for the PS4 and Xbox One.
Connect 4 on the Switch.
Connect 4. Hopscotch for the Switch.
Exactly. Shoots and ladders for the Switch.
All right. There you go.
Exactly. Lord have mercy.
We did
Guess
have,
Who on the Nintendo Switch?
I would actually
That
play
would
Guess
actually
Who.
be really
Yeah, I
fun.
would play
That would
Guess
be
Who
kinda
if
fun,
I had a
actually.
Switch.
Yep.
and it was on there.
If they had Guess Who and you could play, obviously with the wireless little,
That's awesome.
co-op,
Yep,
that would
yep.
actually be a good
Yeah,
time.
that would be
Get
fun.
on that Nintendo. Get on it, Nintendo.
Nintendo. We did have two oops. One over MLS Chop. Gabe, there are 4 The Room games, and I know you acknowledge this game in Discord, so I'll just mention it. There are 4
Yes.
The Room games, so maybe you haven't checked out the latest one. The Room Old Sins came out earlier this year. I
Nice.
didn't
Yes,
know
I
that
need to-
either.
I don't know if I beat 3 or not. I think I did.
I thought
I
you've beaten them
love
all. I
those
thought
games.
They are so much fun.
Ooh, I love those games.
That's awesome. And then
Chris would hate them.
exactly. He'd be up looking up everything. He'd be on
Yeah,
looking
Chris,
everything.
Chris would beat it faster than everybody
Yeah,
else.
dang right I would.
And then our boy Arctic Warlocks. Look at Router over here. I mean, is he or is he not totally loving Overwatch with the community? I'm so happy for him and the community members to get to play with him. It's so awesome. Of course, this is not at all an oops, but figuring with Red Dead 2 coming out on Friday, the thumbnail for the question may have been something to do with Red Dead. But now just checking Discord, I was surprised to be looking at a Halloween Overwatch skin. It totally makes sense being the episode before Halloween for the thumbnail. Hope you had fun in Hawaii and that skin drops for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It was one of those, oh crap, it's like 5 o'clock. I've got to go to a Preds game. I'm grabbing something. Halloween, right? I've been playing Overwatch. Okay, let's go. I didn't even
was
think
perfect.
about, I didn't
Nice.
even think about Red Dead.
Speaking of
But
that
yeah, as
image, have you, just real quick to go back to Overwatch, have you played as Reaper at all? Have you given him a shot at all?
I gave him one shot, got killed, and then moved on. I like I said, I'm having right now where I'm at. I'm having a very love-hate relationship with Overwatch because the past couple of times I've been playing with Sheldor and he's been really helpful. And he suggested Torbjorn, whatever the heck his name is, and I'm like, nope, moving on. I can't deal with lava and turrets and all that fun stuff or whatever he's got. But I'm just getting crushed. I've been playing Bastion because I love his turret, and I'm just getting rocked, and it's getting frustrating. So I'm like, I've been playing for a little bit, and then I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'm going back to Tomb Raider for a little bit. So, but I like this is my first like Halloween. Whatever they call it. And I've been trying to get skins and I enjoy the Halloween flair of it, but I'm getting rocked. And I'm like, Sheldor and I were playing the low gravity 6-on-6 or whatever. And it's just like, all these people are just so good. And I'm like, I'm not moving around much. I'm not getting shots off. And I'm just like, forget it. So I'm at that frustrating point where I'm sure everyone goes through it. But I'm coming at this game so late that everyone's so good, and it's just like, I'm not gonna get to this level, so I'll just do what I can.
Yeah, I would stick to quick play for a bit.
Yeah, I do want to do that, but
or
but
a
I
lot
also,
of the Junkenstein stuff. That's
Yeah.
fun, and it's not super.
That's what I've did. That's what I
Good,
did. Nice
good.
grammar, Tim. That's what I've done.
That's what I did. Adverb.
And I've been sticking with the Soldier during those because you can't play Bastion on the. On any of those.
right.
So yeah, so Soldier's been my boy on that one. I feel pretty comfortable with him.
Yeah.
But it's fun getting those loot boxes. I love how they theme everything so beautifully, and especially Halloween. I love Halloween. I'm so excited for Halloween. So yeah, we'll see. I'll be able to jump back in, but Sheldor's been awesome. So shout out to you as well. And
Good.
I got to play with Lem a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Can't do the mystery heroes thing. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing here. By the time I figure something out, I'm dead. So
Took me forever to
Yes.
enjoy
Yeah.
that.
I
as well.
love it now. I used to hate it too, Tim. I
Yeah.
was right there with you.
Yep.
For some reason, I had to play that to get a loot box or something like that because I was trying to rack up loot boxes on this little Halloween escapade.
Yep.
And for some reason, just like last week, I was like, holy crap, I love this.
Yeah.
Mystery Heroes is the best one to get used to understanding other heroes, because a lot of times, because the opposite team is also getting just their choices chosen randomly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times if you go into quick play and you're trying to play or figure out or learn a new character that you've not played before, the other team knows that you picked that, and they lots of times will pick the counter character, because every character has basically got a character that kind of counters their abilities.
Oh, okay.
So the good thing about in Mystery Heroes is, yes, you get a different one every time, but you may get a character, let's say, that you're wanting to learn a little bit better, and the other team may not have anything that can really counter that character. So, and as long as you stay alive, you can stay with that character. Because like Reaper in particular, like he's really good against most characters, but like Tracer will take him down real fast. And either the quicker characters are pretty quick to take him down, but like he can just mow through tanks, and he can just mow through a lot of other people. And when you do his Wraith, if you run out of ammo, you do his Wraith ability, which one, you can't take any damage while you're doing that, and two, the minute you get done with that Wraith ability, it's reloaded your guns completely. So
nice. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm just not staying alive long enough to really figure it out. So what I've been doing is in skirmishes, that's when I've been changing
that's
heroes.
a good time.
Because then I can just stop for a second. I can hit, like, I can look at all their special abilities and what they do. But Reaper was one that I was looking at. I like McCree, but I just suck at him. I can't.
McCree is a skill character. He's basically a sniper, but without a sniper.
Yeah, you need a headshot,
so
and
you need to.
His gun's powerful, but I just can't get those headshots, and so I'll get there eventually. But yeah, I'm going through a thing right now. Overwatch and I are just going through a little bit of a tiff.
It's complicated,
and it's complicated, and we'll work it out, and it's all good. But anyway, it'll be fun.
There you go.
So hey, we've got MPD for September.
Ooh.
So let's do this. This is for U.S. only sales. Here we go. Spending was up 7% from last September. So we went from $1.36 billion. And in 2017, we were 1.285. Hardware was actually down 3% from last year at $306 million. Software was actually flat. We were pretty even, 747 million compared to 744 last year. And accessories took a huge shoot up of 43% at 323 million compared to 225 million. Here we go. Top 10 games for September. Number 10, NHL 19. Number 9, Super Mario Party. Number 8, Destiny 2. Number 7, which I thought was a little low here, Forza Horizon 4.
Because that Game Pass.
Game Pass,
yeah, probably. Yep, 6, Madden NFL 19.
But does Game Pass, does that, I mean, if you download Game Pass, does that count as a sale at all? Does that go towards it?
I don't know.
I wouldn't think so.
It feels like it shouldn't.
Because I feel like Sea of, well, I don't know. I think
I didn't
it does
remember
apply
seeing
in some
Sea of
way,
Thieves.
but I don't know how. I'll have to.
It might be one of those things where, you know how, maybe you guys don't know, but on, like on the music side of things, when you stream a song, you can't count every stream as a sale of an album, quote unquote. You have to have like 10 songs worth of streaming to count as one album.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
maybe.
like if they wanted to say Toby went platinum, he actually has to have, like, if I streamed 10 of his songs on an album, or I think even if it's the same one over and over and over again, I think it's like 10 equals one album. 10 spins.
I didn't even realize that would count
something like that. It's something really weird.
So apparently Game Pass
it's
revenues,
a volume thing.
Game Pass revenues are not included in sales ranking published by the MPD Group.
There you go. Thank you.
That's the shorter way to answer that question.
There you go. I liked yours, though. And now you know about the music industry. Welcome.
The more you know.
That's right. So number 5 is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Number 4, FIFA 19. Here's the interesting one. Number 3, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Even though it launched October 5th, it had about a 2-day tracking period. This must have all been pre-orders, but I guess it was reported. And so to be able to be number 3 in September means this game's going to be huge in October, which I'm a little excited about.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Number 2 is NBA 2K19. And of course, number 1, would be Marvel's Spüder-Man.
Hey,
Spüder-Man achieved the highest launch month dollar sales for any PlayStation exclusive in history, and is the 7th largest launch ever achieved by any game on any PlayStation platform, and currently ranks as a third best-selling game of 2018.
Wow.
Which prompted me to throw this little one on. Here are the best-selling games of 2018 so far. I kind of like these little. Sometimes they throw these little charts in, so I enjoy just to kind of give you perspective on where all the games fit right now for this year. Number 10, Mario Kart Deluxe 8 Deluxe.
Ooh.
Number 9, Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z, by the way. Number 8, Call of Duty World War II. Number 7, of course, Grand Theft Auto 5. I have a feeling GTA 5 is going to jump up with Red Dead coming out too.
Think so?
Yeah, I think people are going to go back to that as well.
And a lot of the pre-orders have like, you get this much currency in GTA 5.
Yeah. So expect to see that probably creep up a little bit. Number 6, Madden NFL 19. Number 5, NBA 2K19. Number 4, Monster Hunter World. Good for them. Number 3, as I said, Spüder-Man. Number 2, God of War.
Spüder-Man.
And the number 1 selling game so far is Far Cry 5. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, wow.
I didn't really expect that. I thought for sure God of War might have been a little bit bigger, but a little bit more. But that is a PS4 exclusive, so
right.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's a multiplat that's number 1, but it does surprise me that the multiplat is Far Cry 5. Even though I really like that game, I just didn't. Think
I thought for sure Call of Duty would be way up further. But I'm sure with Black Ops Now, that's probably going to crush a lot of these games. But I thought that little chart was interesting and fun. So there's our MPD for this month, or for September, and we look forward to October. Back to you, gentlemen.
Chris McCracken.
Well, it looks like PlayStation has confirmed that Days Gone is going to be gone a little bit further. It's now been delayed to April 26th, and it was originally going to be released on February 22nd, 2019. They came out and pretty much just said, look, we've decided to move Days Gone to get it out of the crowded February timeframe.
Can we just take it around back the barn and just put it to rest?
Yikes.
I know.
Ouch.
I'm so over this. Like, I don't need another game like that. Well, me personally, I don't need another game like this. The constant delay just makes me not want to. I'm like, clearly they don't have their stuff together. Like, this game is not going to be what I originally thought it was.
I'm a bit inclined to believe that the main reason for moving this one is to get it out of February, because a lot of people, like
February
you're saying,
crowded.
Feel the same way. I don't think that there's very few people that are really hype on this game. So it's already got that knock against it.
What happened?
And then if you open it or you release it whenever like 28 other games are coming out the same day or week or whatever the heck it is, it makes sense that, move it out of it. Now, I think they should have moved it forward. I think that would have been a better idea. I think you'd been better off dropping it in
but they're not ready,
into
clearly.
December or January. But that lends to it's probably needing a little bit more work. Because they did also say with this, they said, look, the main reason is we want to get out of crowded February. But also, this will give Bend a little bit more time to polish things up. So I'm sure that there is things that they're still needing to do to the game. But, I mean, good for them getting out of February. But, unfortunately for them,
I'm not feeling it at all.
I feel like most people, that's the way most people feel. Most people are just not really that excited about it. For me, the main thing for me is I'm just never been, outside of like The Last of Us, and that's even a little bit different. I've never been much for the zombie stuff. Ever, really? I mean, the Walking Dead, Telltale's a Walking Dead, kind of, but that really was more about the story, not so much the zombies, Any of these, like Left 4 Dead and Call of Duty zombies, any of these things that are really zombie-heavy, have never really been my thing. And I feel like just in general, most people have kind of gotten over it. So, I don't know if that's it.
That makes me so sad.
I don't know.
Gosh. I don't know what it was about it that didn't... Was it just because it was so regular looking?
Like, maybe did the biker theme bother anybody? Like, I feel like the biker theme's kind of like, okay, it's kind of Walking Dead-ish a little bit, but it's like, I think just all the zombies and everything was just like,
Well, for me, it felt like a tech demo for like, look what we can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at all these people.
Right. Yeah. But then late on the zombie thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think you could make the argument, and I could be wrong, and I'm really bad with time, but So a bunch of I know I'm about to be wrong, but like I feel like the first zombies on Black Ops, whichever one it was, 2 maybe.
No,
the first one, I don't remember.
They created
first
zombies
Black Ops,
on the
right?
first World at War or whatever it was. That's when Nazi zombies came up.
No, but I feel like the Black Ops one where you could like run around in that house and you're fighting zombies over and over again. That was the first time that zombies got put on my radar as like a great idea in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Days Gone was way too late to that thing. Because we talked about it on the show. Zombies got real hot for a while. Zombies were in everything and it was working. And then Days Gone comes out. It feels like on the other side of that mountain.
Exactly.
And just as a tech demo to say, look what we can do. And didn't show any story early on. It just felt like you were a guy running from a bunch of zombies. And like everybody was real done with it at that point. The Last of Us and The Walking Dead do such an amazing job of making the game not about the zombies.
Exactly.
Where it felt like Days Gone showed us a game about zombies and the massive amount of zombies there were. And you were like, oh, well, but The Last of Us and The Walking Dead and these other games have made these incredible zombie things, but they're not really about the zombies. They might start that way, but they end up being about human nature and taking care of each other and things like that. And it didn't feel like Days Gone had that same heart.
I
to me.
couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think that's exactly right, man.
So I just don't know what happened because I'm with you guys. I never was like, oh, yeah, Days Gone, let's get it. You know what I mean? It felt like, sorry, guys, man, dang it. We were just packing up this party.
I can't say I was never interested, but I was very, like the very beginning when they showed it, and I agree with you, it was very tech demo, like, oh my gosh, we have so many hordes of and I guess they're not technically zombies, the freakers, whatever they're calling them. And I was like, okay, but
they're zombies.
Tell me a little bit about the story later on down the road. And then they started telling little bits about the story and everything, but the story just it wasn't intriguing. To me, I was kind of thinking like maybe this is going to be, yes, they'll have the zombie-ish element, but maybe it's going to be a bit more of like a biker gang story to some extent. And it's not really, or it doesn't seem like it is. And I feel like, man, they'd have been better off just making a biker gang video game and not having the zombies at all, probably. But I don't know.
So as Chris mentioned earlier, the rollout for the name change for PSN is coming to folks that have been signed up for the software betas. And not everybody's thrilled about the fine print.
Uh-oh.
And there's one Twitter user at 9volt who said, does anyone actually hate their PSN ID enough to do this? And he kind of listed some of the important information before changing your online ID. We talked about some of these things, but in the new email that got sent out, it says you may lose access to content, including paid for content that you have acquired for your games, including content like add-ons and virtual currency. You may lose your progress within games, including game save data, leaderboard data, and progress towards trophies. You may lose parts of your games and applications, or it says parts of your games and applications might not function properly, both online and offline.
Jeez.
Your previous online IDs may remain visible to you and other players in some places. And so my hope is that this list of things is for the people trying the beta of the name change. Like if these problems stay around, then why would you want to change your name to risk maybe losing trophies and save data and the things that you've bought? And man, this one, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but responded to the tweet and said, if it was only the last one, it might be dealable-ish. But sheesh, I think I'd rather keep my DLC and still be poop deliverer.
Dang it, they stole my handle.
What a terrible thing.
That's an awful yet awesome name all at the same time.
I could so picture like a 7th grader getting a PlayStation for the first time and being like, oh, this is hilarious. Me and my friends, we're coming up with all these crazy names like poop deliverer. That's hilarious. And now he's 20 something like,
now he's
hey, so
branded
what's your
for life.
PSN name? You're like, I
I'm on Xbox.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's so funny to me
Deliverer.
because I've done some database stuff, and it is very clear to me that when PlayStation was putting all this together, like the database for a particular user, like normally I would have a unique ID number, whether that's a mixture of numbers and characters or something, apart, as well as your username. So your username could be changeable, but there's a unique ID number for each user that can be randomized or whatever. And there's
and it's hidden.
Gazillion of those, and it's hidden that nobody else knows about. And it's clear to me that Sony just did not have the right database structure in place when they started launching the network and everything.
Well, they didn't build it with that system. They built it. It's actually tied to the name you make. There's no random number created in the back end of their system.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so, so that clearly tells me that they didn't have that kind of database structure, which to me seems that's a rookie mistake right there, to not have, you can't just have your username be, your primary identification for everything. Email,
I know, that's weird.
because even email address could be a better unique individual ID for each person. If you change your email address, that's okay. But man, it's just one of those things where that's just bad database structure, in my opinion. But
totally
because that scares me. Like, I'm just gonna stick with mine. And Gabe, what do you feel about this? Because I know you don't like your name, but are you willing to take that risk?
No, if it stays like that, I'm not switching.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that important. Like, it's for me, it's all facade. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Sure.
like, I'd like to have a better name. Yeah. But if it's like, hey, you might lose save data, DLC trophies, you're like,
Nope.
oh no, I ain't doing that.
Nope.
Like, I mean, Sabbath Gray is, not the best name on the planet, but it's not Poop Deliverer.
Yeah, it's not the worst name. I mean, come on. It's not that bad.
I'm curious
Yeah, it's
how
not
much
like
of this.
X0330 I you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's a lot of, when you're playing Call of Duty and playing multiplayer, like, you see a lot lot of terrible names, and I don't feel like it's that terrible.
I do like
feel
Poop
it's pretty
Deliverer,
bad.
though. That's great.
What are you saying, Chris?
I'm curious how much of this. Granted, if they're writing this in here, I do think that there's potential for these things to actually happen. But how much of this is like, look, we're going to say anything under the sun might weird happen. We're just going to say it all. But how much they're actually expecting may happen to people.
Just to
you know what I
cover
mean? Because
themselves?
one of the things that they mentioned, I don't know if it's in this email or not because I haven't read the whole thing, but one of the things they did mention in that blog post is they said, hey, you may run into issues such as XYZ, and they listed out some of them, like some of the ones that were listed here, but not necessarily all of these. And they said, but if you run into these issues at any time for free, you can revert back to your old name, which should fix everything. Now, I don't know if that's mentioned again in this email. That's what was mentioned in the blog post. So that tells me that if that is indeed the case, then, and I were somebody like you that's in your shoes, I would be like, okay, well, let's just change this. And if something breaks, I'll revert back, which should fix everything. And then, at the end of the day, you tried, because the first name change is free. I think it'd be worth the change.
Yep.
But if it's like something where you do this, and again, I don't know if it specifies this in that email or whatnot, but if you change it, and then if it breaks something, yes, you can revert your name, but that may not fix it, well then, yeah, absolutely, I wouldn't do it. But if it's like, hey, just revert back, fixes everything, I think it'd still be worth giving it a shot,
Well, my thing is, the weird thing I think is, say all these problems stay, but you still have a service that you're going to require people to pay for. Now, I understand that the first name change is free. I get that. But then after that, it's like $10. And so, like, for $10, I got to maybe
You got to worry about
get
it.
to keep my deal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping
You're
that...
saying like if you pay for PS Plus or
No. I'm saying, remember we were saying the first name change is
Yes.
free, and if you want to change it again, then it's $10.
yeah, it's $10
And so-
unless you have PS Plus, and then it's $5.
Right.
Either way, you're given the money. You
I'm-
should have the
right.
security that everything
That's
is
my
fine.
point.
Yeah, I'm
That's
with
right.
you.
Oh, I
That's
got
what
you.
I'm saying.
I'm with you.
It just feels weird that you can say you're going to charge something. That's why I'm hoping that, like Chris is saying, in this beta, in this pre-draft of the thing that they want to launch in 2019, hopefully they can get all those things checked off to where they can be like, okay, listen,
Agreed.
if you change it, everything will be good. Your old name might pop up still because we've mentioned that we're not saying it's going to work with any game prior to April of 2018. So, your old name, you might see your old name still, but the new one will be there from here on out and no problems. You'll be able to keep your DLC. Like, that's just a crazy thing to say you might not get is your DLC.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
I still maintain that those other rumors are true and that they're just building an entire brand new PSN from the ground up to launch with PlayStation 5 or whatever the heck. And hopefully they do.
I think you're right, Chris.
The only thing that's going to be weird about that is if they indeed do that, is there going to be a way, which I got to assume they're trying to figure out if there is a way to, hey, I never wanted to change my name. I'm good with all my stuff. Can I just roll right in, or do I have to hurry up and grab it again and make sure nobody grabs it kind of thing? That's don't even know if that's true. It's simply just a rumor out there right now. But it makes total sense to me that they would want to just, hey, we found a way to Band-Aid it on PlayStation 4, but man, this is such a mess. We need to just start fresh. Throw it out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Chris. I think you're absolutely right. I think they're restructuring their network. They're restructuring their database schemes, and that makes total sense to me. Yep.
What else you got, Christopher?
One of the other things I have. So we had mentioned earlier from Ed, and then because he was playing it, and then Tim had mentioned in the new game releases that the Spider-Man DLC has come out, but there was also another patch that came out last Friday that added in the things like Ed mentioned, New Game Plus, where you can start up a new game and you can keep all the stuff that you had before. It also added some cool new things in for photo mode. You could access photo mode faster by using the D-pad rather than the slightly clunky way that it was before, where you had to hit select and then go down the menu. I don't know if that's something you have to activate and turn on. I haven't been in there to dabble with it myself. But one other thing that they added that I thought was just absolutely hilarious is they added new stickers, because in Spider-Man you can do these little comic things that add stickers onto your photos that you do inside of photo mode. And one of the stickers that they added was puddles. So you can add a bunch of puddles
hilarious.
Anywhere you do a photo inside of the game, and you can add as many as you want, and you can twist them around so you can shape them just right. And I just thought that was absolutely hilarious because of the whole kerfluffle right before the game release when people were like, oh my gosh, there's a downgrade. There's no puddles. The puddle's not as shiny and la, 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 la. So I thought that was an absolutely hilarious
that was a thing?
move. Oh my gosh, yes. It was a huge deal right before the game dropped.
Wait, so what was the thing?
So you remember that original E3 demo where they played it, and he's like sneaking around inside that high-rise building, and at this one point he's on like a ledge or whatever and looking down on enemies, and they're walking around, it's the demon guys, and there were some puddles on the ground. And then when they got closer to the game releasing, they released another trailer that showed that scene again, and now there were a few less puddles on there. And, the lighting had changed a little bit like that, and people were using that and comparing it to, this is what we saw at E3, and this is what they're showing now. See, it's been downgraded. And Insomniac and the people from Insomniac and Insomniac's actual Twitter had to keep coming out and saying, look, no, it's just we reduced one of the puddles there, but the lighting is just a little bit different because it's a different time of day. And they just had to do all this defense stuff because people were saying, the game's been downgraded. And the main thing that people kept pointing to when they would say the downgrade thing is say, see, there's less puddles. And then, of course, the game releases and it looks so amazing and everybody loves the game. It's like, well, yeah, there is a few less puddles, but the game outside of that, in some ways, actually looks better than it did before now that we can actually got our hands on it kind of thing. So this is kind of like a little making fun of that situation.
That's great. I love that.
Being light about it by letting you add in your own puddles through stickers.
That's literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, people get mad about hilarious things.
Would you actually not buy a game because of
I don't remember. No, I wouldn't. But I don't remember people being like, oh, let's boycott the game. But there was a definite outcry of like, oh, the game's been downgraded, a la back in the day when like Watch Dogs had its issues and stuff too.
Right.
The fervor was pretty much that same level.
It's just so weird. Like, do we not?
I know.
This is every time a game is announced. Every time this is what happens. Like, of course they're going to put their very best foot forward. It's not like we're getting catfished. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's going to come out and look like Adventure
Here's
on
Spüder-Man.
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 Yeah, exactly. He's got kind of a limp, come Spüder-Man. But like, it's just so weird
Puddle
because
man.
we yeah, exactly. We get caught up in like, oh yeah, it doesn't look as good. Like, Yeah, that's right. Like, we're actually building it for you to play now. Like, remember, you know what I'm saying? Especially back in like the PS3, PS2 days, we were still hollering the same kind of stuff. It's like, you don't have a magical box that upgrades itself, its hardware while you're sleeping.
Right.
Like, you've never seen a game look this good. Of course, we're going to. Anyway, that drives me crazy. The internet is something else.
It is.
Man,
It's literally the best and worst place ever.
It really is.
It's like a club where you show up and you're like, I am so glad to be here. Oh, man, why is this floor so sticky?
Exactly.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Spüder-Man
yes.
is, you remember, my first platinum.
Yes.
But now that they've released the New Game Plus and the DLC, there are more trophies.
Yep.
That's right.
And some of them are ones that if they were in the original one, I wouldn't be able to get the platinum because it's like get expert or better on the challenges. Finish the game on extreme difficulty.
Yep.
So now in my head, I'm kind of like, I don't think I have a platinum anymore because I don't have all the trophies. And even though it still says in my trophy list, I have a platinum. In my head, I'm like, but I don't have all the trophies. I don't think I have a platinum anymore, you guys.
Man,
Well, but it's
you got the platinum.
yeah. To me,
Yeah,
they're
you have the
definitely
platinum.
different. So when you like, and I'm sure you saw this, but when you look at the trophy list, like when it was just Spüder-Man, it said 100%, and it had your little platinum there. Now, when you look at that high level version of it, just on the trophy list, it'll say Spüder-Man, and it'll say 80%,
100%.
but it'll have the platinum.
Yeah,
but when
81.
you click into it, it shows you that, for the base game, you still have 100%, but for this DLC, you're only at 10% or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you
you
drill
still
down
platinum the
into it,
game.
it's segmented out. So to me, I'm there's very few games where I got the platinum, and then if I indeed got the DLC, I got 100% on the DLC as well. I don't think I've ever done that. I worry about each game, like 100% on the base game, and then if I like the DLC enough and it doesn't have ridiculous trophies, maybe I'll try to go for 100% on that. But I've never even done it on the DLC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it is a little bit annoying when you look at that main level where it'll be like 62% platinum. It's like
Exactly. You're like, wait, what happened?
Right.
You're platinum safe, Ed.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. You got it.
I totally looked at it too, Ed, and I was like, 81%. What happened?
I know.
And I was like, oh, that freaking DLC got you, boy.
Yep.
Got him.
Gotcha.
So it looks like, and I mean, this is very rumor-esque. M2 is a developer that specializes in re-releasing classic games.
M2.
They did the Sega Ages line. And their CEO, which I'm going to butcher this.
Do it.
Yes.
Naoki Hori is what I'm going to say.
Right.
Sounds good.
Has mentioned in an interview with Famitsu or Famitsu or Famitsu or Famitsu.
All the above.
I don't know. Yes, that they're close to getting Dreamcast games working on the Nintendo Switch
Well, there you go.
via emulation. And as we've joked about the Switch bolstering its its library with old games. I'm not so bad about this one. It's not so bad about this one. And so I think it'd be really cool. They talk about bringing things back via emulation or looking at things using the original source code. And so, when there's gamers like me who play things like the Dreamcast that I feel like was way too short-lived and didn't get its fair props at the time, I don't think that it's going to now get the props, but at least there's a place to come play those games for those that don't own Dreamcasts anymore and, hook them up to their newfangled flat-screen televisions. So, I like this. I'm here for it. And if I could play some... And I might be able to do this actually already. Crazy Taxi, boy. Woo! That game
That's
is fun.
your game, man.
If I could play that on the Switch, that'd be banging. I probably would do it as well.
Do they have a?
But I don't-
Do they have a like on Android or iOS like a mobile version of that game? Or am I crazy?
Yes.
They do.
I do not like it.
It's not. Is it not the same, or is it just handled badly?
I just don't like... I don't like playing things on my phone that are touchscreen twitchy like that.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
right.
Okay, I'd never played it. I didn't know the mechanics of it. So
Yeah, it's on the iPad. I know for sure.
Gotcha.
Because I own it for the iPad.
you go.
But so the kids play it, but I don't like playing it on that.
Gotcha.
And I'm not one of those guys that wants to carry around a controller in my backpack.
yeah.
I might
really?
start doing it. I might start doing it because of the Project Stream thing. If I want to get some Assassin's Creed on the road, but I don't like carrying a controller around and then having like my phone out and a controller and blue.
So, like, what is your qualms with carrying a controller? But you're cool with carrying a Switch. I mean, because the Switch is the controllers on the device. I mean, well, like, what's the difference? Like, what?
Yeah, I don't take the controller off the screen.
I know, but I mean,
Switch.
Like the Switch with the what are they called? The Joy-Cons on it. Like that's a bigger device to be carrying around than a DualShock or an Xbox.
It's not about that. Oh. It's about like finding a place to set up my phone and then like killing my battery. I play my Switch on my back a lot. And so, like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? With, like, when I'm in my bunk, I play on my back. So I wouldn't be able to have my phone and the controller in front of my face.
Oh,
you know
yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
Just with gravity.
Oh, I got you. I was just talking, you had mentioned the Project Stream stuff, because you can only play that on a laptop, right? Or can you play that through Chrome on a phone or whatever?
No, I actually already tried it on Chrome on the phone. And you get really close, but it doesn't work all the way. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, it's not about the controller necessarily. It's the controller and the phone.
Well,
that combo to me is not fun.
Gotcha. Well, what about, at least from terms of holding it, didn't they come out with some kind of little device like for either PlayStation controller or Xbox controller, like hold your phone? Would that help, or is that not helpful?
I'm not doing that. No.
Oh yeah, you don't want to look like a nerd.
Like the phone is not fun enough. So if I have my Switch, my laptop, and my PlayStation on the road, the phone's going to be the very. I'd have to be so desperate to play something. The phone's going to be the very last thing I want to do that. And so usually when I travel, unless it's like we're going real quick or I don't have to take clothes, usually I put my PlayStation and stuff in a different bag. And so I usually don't always have it with me, but I just don't feel like. And then on planes they get weird with the whole Bluetooth thing. So every now and then, if I've been playing, like I remember I was editing something on my laptop. And the stewardess came by and she was like, "Hey, you're not allowed to have that wireless mouse." And so, like,
really?
Really? So she made me unplug it and everything like that. And so, and it's probably, different strokes for different folks. Like maybe she's like, "Oh, the rules," and then some people, see you playing the Switch. And I've taken those controllers off just so I could have them down in my lap and just had the screen set up on the table in front of me. And nobody said anything, so I don't know. Is it my turn or your turn, Chris?
I don't remember, but I have one more story, so I'll just go.
Yes.
So Capcom, they're kind of crazy. We
oh no.
I mean,
we've mentioned before, like how they were going to sell that golden Mega Man, and it was going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually now they're releasing an ultra limited edition for the upcoming Devil May Cry 5. And they're actually going to have 3 of them. And one is called the Dante-themed one. And it's going to come with a copy of the game, interchangeable box art, and a leather Dante jacket that is based on the one that the game's motion capture actor wore. And it's going to cost $8,600.
No, it's not going to cost $8,000.
Then they're going to have a bundle for the Nero character that is a jacket bundle as well. That one's going to be $7,200. And then they're going to have one.
Y'all lost y'all's mind.
They're going to have the one for the character. I guess the name's just V, or maybe it's 5. I don't know. And that's a little bit lesser character. So let's be honest. So it's only going to be $5,700.
Hold up.
What?
Yes.
Is it like first come, first serve, and you get the actual jacket
that is so there's not any specifics on it. Is called the ultra limited edition, but there's no specifications in this article that like, hey, there's only one in existence. So that leads me to believe there's at least a few, because they don't say it's the actual one that he wore. They say it's going to be a version of the jacket similar to the one that he wore. Yeah. So I don't think it's the actual ones that the actors wore. But they are going to be very limited.
Which means it's going to be Halloween costume quality, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Party
and now
City
I will
quality.
say that right now these bundles are only announced for Japan. So they're not actually coming to the U.S. At least there's no plans for it at the moment. But Capcom must be doing way better, have a much bigger fan base than I realized, because they always come out with the craziest, and we're going to sell this for this crazy amount of money. I'm assuming people are buying them.
An insane fan base. So, Chris, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is there any, and we might make this the question of the week
Okay.
because this is a little interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Is there any way in the world,
Yes.
let's go with $5,000,
Okay.
that you would spend $5,000 on your very favorite video game if it came with an exclusive something? Like if your boy from Metal Gear Solid made this exclusive thing, and he did like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like a signed thing and the game and like that little blinky thing that, Norman Reedus has on his back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's, would you pay $5,000 for something like that?
If I had indeed,
That's a long pause, baby.
I love that.
if I
pause. That
had
was great.
indeed won that 1.6 billion Powerball, oh yeah, man, I'd buy that for sure. But the
We're
way
not
it
talking
sits
about
right
that.
now, nah, I'm not doing that.
Let's say you hadn't got the Tesla.
No,
Would you
no.
do it then?
I'd rather have the car than that.
Wow.
Ed, I'm going to go ahead and ask you now, and then we'll just have it be the question of the week later. Your favorite video game, there's an ultra super exclusive. Are you paying $5,000 for it?
No.
Tim,
No.
maybe it'll be a bad
I
question.
didn't pay for the box set of Weird Al's music in an accordion. I'm not
That's right.
paying $5,000
There you go.
anything video game.
It might be a bad
Well
question of the
played.
week because I think everybody would say no.
Maybe we just lower the price. What if it's $500?
There you go.
Okay.
How about
No.
what is the most you would pay?
Yeah,
for
but
an
see, here's
exclusive?
the problem though. People don't know what they want.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
that's
That's
right.
how
right.
this works is like okay, so if there was a super exclusive Final Fantasy VII handwritten note, Buster Sword, small statue of Cloud, I'd probably need the whole family in there, and there was only like 5 of them and it was numbered 001 and it was $500, I'd probably do it for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I think $500 sounds a little more attainable.
That would be a really hard thing to talk my wife into. It would have to be
Oh,
like
heck yeah.
a Christmas present from my whole family to me
Yeah.
to say that
For the next 2 years.
exactly
That you
So I
bought
could
for
do
yourself.
that. Exactly,
Y'all
Chris.
just
Right.
reimburse
Right.
me.
Chris, $500.
I can make a much easier case justifying $500 for something I really, really wanted.
$1,000.
No, I don't think I could do 1,000.
Ed,
no.
$500.
No, man. I mean,
Jackbox
do I
party.
get to stay with the cast of Overwatch for a month? Maybe.
Maybe, what if it did include like a VIP? You get to be in the game and come hang out with Cookie Masterson or something.
Man, if it did that, it's gonna be worth way more than $500.
Well, you got to still pay your way there. You just get the ticket to go.
I still think.
Nah, I don't know, man.
What if it also
getting
bundled
close.
in like something like, oh, the money is also going to charity, but this is just a thing you get for donating $1,000 to this charity that's a really great cause.
That doesn't change how much money's coming in.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
That's right.
And how much money's leaving you.
That is funny. All right, that's gonna be the question of the week. That's really funny. $8,000. Them jokers are tripping.
They are crazy.
87.
Lord have mercy.
86, excuse me,
$8,600.
for the Dante one.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Regardless. Happy birthday, Super Mario 3. It turned
Hey.
on day of recording. We are one day past its birthday. Yesterday, it turned 30. It came out in Japan on October 23rd of 1988.
Wow.
And if you're like me and we're playing video games at that time, Super Mario Brothers 3, number 1, was an amazing game just in itself. Number 2 was a refreshing breath of fresh air after Mario 2 in the West. And I think, like, here's one of the things about Super Mario. I can't tell if those games are freaking amazing or they just hit me at the right time of life. What I mean by that is Super Mario 1, 3, and Super Mario World, I could make the argument that they'd be all three of my top 10 best video games of all time, because I think Super Mario World was incredible for reasons. I think Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'd have to make a case. Like if I just wrote down my top 10 video games, they wouldn't all three be in there. Yeah. But I could make a case for them, especially for their time, for what Nintendo pulled off with their software for the time. Super Mario Brothers 3, I think was, could arguably one of be at least top 20 games ever to come out. What say you guys? Did you guys play it back when it came out? Chris, were you playing video games? You played Super Mario 3 when it came out?
I mean, I'm sure I did. I always get them confused. Which one's 3?
It's where you could be the raccoon or the stone guy. You got all the different outfits at the end of the levels. You would run and jump into the little thing.
Is that the one that's like on a stage, like a show? It goes from left to right.
Yeah, dink a dink dink a dink dink a dink.
Yeah, I definitely played it. I never beat it or anything. I don't remember having I was never a huge Mario guy. Like I enjoyed them and played them, but I never got enthralled with them. I think World is the one that was more colorful and everything, right?
World was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and that was the one that I feel like I had the fondest memories of.
Yes, that one is really incredible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ed, what about you? Were you playing Super Mario 3 when it came out? It launched alongside of the movie The Wizard, if you guys remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was like that was its coming out party, really. I think The Wizard came out before it actually came out in the West.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And so you saw this movie about this kid who was amazing at video games. And the last thing they had to play was Mario Brothers 3.
Oh, that's funny. I know I have played it. I don't remember where, but we didn't have the game or that. What console was that on?
NES.
That was on NES? Yeah, we had NES, but we didn't have that game.
Just not that game. Tim, did you play?
No.
No. All right. Well, there you have that.
No.
I love trying to cut you off. No, emphatically,
I didn't like the colors in that game. The colors were very gross.
At the time?
I thought so. Like, isn't that the one that had a lot of like browns and reds and whatnot?
Yeah, but compared to what?
I don't know. I just don't remember ever thinking that game looked good, even back then.
Yes, looking back now, it looks like it's a game on a...
I'm saying even back then, I don't remember being... I mean, I remember the raccoon thing. I liked having the little raccoon tail where you could kind of fly or whatever. I remember that. But I remember always thinking, man, this game doesn't look that great.
Yeah, I mean, it could be said that it looks like it's on dirty paper.
Yeah.
But it's a good game. What else you got, Chris? You say you're all out?
I'm about.
You about?
Or I'm all out.
Yeah. Thanks for leaving. We'll see you later, Chris. My last story is Drake and Scooter Braun. You guys know Scooter Braun? He's a manager. He manages Justin Bieber and a bunch of other people. Drake and Scooter Braun have bought into 100 Thieves, which is an esports organization owned by, what's the guy's name? Matthew...
Nate Shot?
Haig. Nate Shot. That's right. Matthew Nate Shot Haig. Oh. And so they're co-owners with Matthew now, Drake and Scooter Braun, and I think a third person too, Dan Gilbert, the Cleveland Cavaliers chairman. Mm-hmm. And so they're taking this thing over, man. And what's interesting about the press release that they put out is that Drake and Scooter Braun kind of talk about 100 Thieves like it's more of a lifestyle brand and apparel company, and then third, an esports team. And for some reason, this kind of, I like this. I like that they're kind of like saying, hey, let's do the lifestyle side of it. Let's get the swag going. And of course, the esports is part of it. But just as they listed out in the press release, it's the third thing on the list. Instead of being like, we're so excited to be part of this esports organization, we also want to make it a lifestyle brand and apparel company. They're like, 100 Thieves is about lifestyle brand, apparel, and esports. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's important the way they listed it, but I just thought it was interesting that it was the third thing listed instead of being, the first thing and then following. Yeah. So I don't know much about Matthew Nate Shot Haig. I know he's a Call of Duty player, but I just found that out because I Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. And so I had heard of him, and his face is familiar to me. Chris, you know a little bit more about him?
I just know his name from the esports world. I'm not like super familiar with what he's all about or anything, but I just recognize his name. Yeah,
I got you. So that's cool. I mean, we talked months back about Drake playing Fortnite with Ninja and stuff like this. So this is kind of him putting his money where his mouth is. So we'll see if he can take that and turn it into something more pop sensible for everyone. And because, I mean, Scooter's got a good eye for things too. He's a smart guy. So he's managed a lot of acts that we would know.
It's probably a bit smart. I mean, just I understand esports is getting bigger and a lot more people are paying attention to it and getting involved with like investment and everything like that. But it kind of seems like it's probably a little bit smart to also have a backup plan with the whole like, and we're also like a fashion thing, you know, so you're not just fully relying on the esports side of it.
Yes, even though hopefully they know that the esports thing is what, you know, really brings the passion. And that's what's been the backbone of 100 Thieves.
Yes.
So hopefully they do it all. They push all three equally, because I mean that's what the fan base and the brand is right now. It's not an apparel company, to my understanding. Of course, they have apparel and they have probably sweatshirts and things you can buy. But I don't know if when you talk to the fan base of 100 Thieves, if they think that. And by the way, I wish it was 100 Thieves. I think that's a cooler name than 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves is pretty cool too. Last thing, just real quick, Target this weekend, the 28th through the 3rd, are running the buy two, get one free video games, movies, and board games. So it's a good time to go try to get on that.
This weekend?
Yes, October 28th through November 3rd.
And what's the deal exactly? I'm going to write this down.
Buy two, get one free.
Buy 2 games, get 1 free.
Yes.
Do they have to? Is it a certain list of games that you have to choose from, or any 2 games?
You know, I've not seen a list of games. The last time I went, it was like, because it spans video games, movies, and board games, and obviously the cheapest one is free. But to my understanding, it's buy 2, get 1 free. So you can save $60 if you want to spend $120.
All right.
Edward?
All right. Yes.
Give it to us.
All righty. Looking at our YouTube channel, here's what's new over there. We've got a slew of Jackbox Party Pack 5 videos
there you go.
For you to relive. You can watch Jenny's debut appearance.
That's right.
You can watch Josh Stapleton beat Gabe in a rap battle.
Unfair. It was unfair. It was my first time playing. I didn't know exactly what was going on. And I had Amara asking me questions.
There you go.
I have all kind of excuses.
It's all right. It's all right.
Because I think Mr. Ham beat me too, so I don't have any excuses.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
I got disconnected. My internet wasn't acting right. I don't know.
Something was amiss for sure. For sure. And then also we've got the part 3. It's the ending of Lego DC Supervillains. And that game, that story is so well done. So well done. They really did a killer job on that. So,
how many hours have you put in that, Ed?
that was about the main mission and what have you. It was about a 12-hour game, I believe.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's pretty digestible.
That character select screen though, man.
See, that's the thing, man. I love that. That came up and you were like, oh, that's way too much.
I wanted to throw up.
Oh man. Bring it on.
No.
Bring it on.
How many do you know how many people it was?
I don't offhand, no. God. And it's funny because that one, I feel like Lego Avengers 2 was like a ton more than that even.
Really?
Yeah, it was. It's just amazing. And kudos on finally a DC something that I enjoyed. It was a lot of fun.
Right.
It was a great story. They really did a good job with that. So
good.
Kudos to everybody for that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No new reviews on iTunes this week, but
yes, that's right. It's fine.
It's all right. It's okay.
It's fine. Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different, except that it was a poll.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Are classic games harder than modern games? And emphatically, you guys said, yes, they are. Starting over at Twitter, Brett T. Bodden. I have played at least 5 minutes of all 714 NES games ever licensed.
What?
714 NES games ever licensed. I've spent countless hours on some of them, like Super Mario 3 and Castlevania. I have never beat a single NES game in my entire life.
What?
Wow.
They are all too hard for me. I don't know how that is working. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you play at least a little of all of them and not beat one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, that guy's as good as me at video games. That's how.
Come on, Brett T. Bodden. You can beat one, baby. Come on now. Just
I don't know,
that's
man.
some encouragement. Edward Varnell, that retro code. Old retro tests your skills, memory, and reactions, while modern games autosaves and checkpoints so much, which makes it easier. You can even pay your way through without putting in any effort in modern games. That's a good point,
Really?
pay your way through. I hadn't thought about that.
Huh.
Nick Miller at Mick Miller. I still don't believe any videos I see of people beating Ninja Gaiden on NES. Gotta be fakes.
It's all CGI.
Really funny.
That's awesome.
Over on Facebook, same thing. Emphatically, yes, the old games are harder than newer games. Mike Doherty, remember having to leave your system on overnight so you wouldn't lose progress, or starting a
Dude.
level over from the beginning when you died? But there was also Game Genie and cheat codes. That's very true. We've definitely fallen away from the cheat codes. And
Boy, those things were long and complicated.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
yeah, the Game Genie codes. Yeah, they're like
I didn't know Game Genie, just the regular
they were.
NES codes even.
Oh yeah. They're like a buying something on digital Microsoft nowadays. I'm like, why is this thing 85 letters long?
Right.
Golly. Warren Skinner, I feel like a lot of older games are based on memorization of the levels, which can make it difficult. I can't say how many hours I put into games like Final Fight or any game that didn't have a password option, trying to get that one good run that would get me to the boss with more than one life left. Amen. Matthew Serta, Road Crew. I think it's really hard to say which is quote unquote harder. Really, it's an apples to bananas comparison. First gen games were designed around the arcade concepts, make them keep dropping quarters. Design capacity was limited to the ROM along with joystick combos, and took a while to break out of that model. Zelda, Final Fantasy, and a few others come to mind there. Current games have nearly unlimited space capabilities now, seemingly infinite button combos, etc. But at a very base level, games were harder then because they were merciless when it came to the player making a bad choice, poor reactions, or a lousy jump. Today, you just lose a little HP or just have
That's true.
or just have to start a few moments before your death. Good point, Matthew, sir.
Yeah. Good point.
That's why you get paid the big bucks, buddy.
Yeah.
MLS Chop over on Discordia. I love this question because I could go either way. If a modern and a classic game were presented to someone that's never played a game, modern games would be way harder due to the number of inputs and complexities of ubiquitous RPG mechanics we all take for granted as gamers. But as gamers who grew up alongside the industry, we were fed those changes over decades, so they don't feel complex to us most of the time. Since the average gamer is an adult, likely an age where they have family, we tend to appreciate the quality of life changes games have made, like saving anywhere, refreshing health, and breadcrumb trails pointing to where to go. However, it's these things that make games easier today to the average gamer. The chances of me not seeing the ending of a game these days is very low, usually only when I'm not enjoying my time. But in NES and SNES days, I played plenty of games where I never rolled the credits, either out of difficulty or because I couldn't play for 3 or 4 hours straight to see the ending because there was no save or password system. That's really well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well
Really
said.
good points there.
Yeah, I like that. What a good and there's a lot of good conversations where a lot of people get long in the tooth with their answers, but the answers are really, really well said. I'm going to read one more. Jared Orr.
Okay.
I'd say that certain games are way harder now. Games like Celeste, Hollow Knight, and Dark Souls are tough. Games from back in the day just felt more difficult because of the way they were designed. There were longer times between checkpoints and less precise gameplay. I found this was especially true with the Crash Insane trilogy. Most of the levels was easy except for one really tough part. Most of a level was easy except for one really tough part. The checkpoints were so far apart that it took forever to beat. I read that one because I think it's interesting because Jared, being a younger man himself, old school for him is PS1. Old school for us is NES. And so I like that, he's like, yeah, the Crash games were tough because it took forever to get to the checkpoint. Well, we were like, what checkpoint? As kids. I like it.
Right?
Thank you guys so much for the answers. You know where to find us, facebook.com/married to the games, twitter.com/mttgcast. Of course, you come over to marriedtothegames.com. We'd love for you to take our survey. I don't know if I've mentioned our survey in a little bit. We've got the survey right there on the main page. We want you guys to be the hands that help form this clay. And if you don't use your hands, then you can't form. Just take the survey. Like Ed said, youtube.com/married to the games. Now on Patreon, patreon.com/MTTG. And hey, we about to kick up this Extra Life thing, Ed. You got you coming up on it next week, right?
Or
something like that?
Next week?
The third, is that the next weekend?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Well, yes.
I don't know.
No, the following
do
weekend.
math.
No, it's next weekend, right? The third?
It's not the one coming up. It's the one after.
Yeah, that'd be
it's the one after.
the next one.
Well, technically, the next one's the one that's about to be here.
Lord have mercy.
Right.
That would be
we got
this
confused.
weekend.
Yes.
Next weekend is the 3rd and the 4th.
There you go.
Go sign up extra-life.org. Goodness gracious.
What he said.
/team/MTTG. We're raising money for the kids, and as Married to the Games, we're going to be giving away stuff for people that are on our team and for those that donate during our streams. During Ed and my stream is not until the end of November. Every $300 that's given away, we are giving away a game. And then for the top 3 earners on our team, the Married to the Games team on Extra Life, we'll be giving away a hoodie, a shirt, and a mug. And if we can work in some more stuff in there, we will. But for right now, that's the plan. And so head over to extra-life.org/team/MTTG. Join up. It's all for the kids. We're doing this for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
And Ed, tell them why they should rate us on iTunes so that they rate us on iTunes.
For the older kids.
Rate us on iTunes for the older kids.
There you go.
Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, we're going to start with email. You can always email us mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. Mark 2, as an extension of last week's discussion on Rockstar Games and whether or not to buy Red Dead 2 or not, how do you guys handle companies that either disappoint you or give you a fantastic experience? Do you hit them up on social media, email them, call them, etc.? As we become more connected online, do we have a responsibility to share our experiences with everyone that we can? If so, when do we reach the point that we've done enough? I love this question.
Yeah, that's a good
I
question.
think it's really great. I feel like there's a fine line. And Ed, I've got to say, man, you do such a great job of just complimenting people when needed. And I think you usually use Twitter for that as well. Like you'll compliment somebody on, hey, I had a great experience with that. And a lot of the times they'll reach back to you, which is I think is really great.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you've got something nice to say, there is I can't think of a reason to not tell someone. And if you had a bad experience, for me, I just don't buy their next game. They don't need me to tell them what I thought. If it's a negative thing, they don't need another person yelling at them online.
Yep.
I let them know with my not money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the camp of positive publicly, negative personally. So what I mean by that is, like Ed does. Hey, really enjoyed this game. Thanks at Jackbox Games. You guys are amazing. I don't feel like it's my duty to do that when it comes to something negative as well.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's technical, in my opinion. Unless there is like a glitch or something, like then I would mention it in a non-aggressive way.
But what I'm saying is, even if you're on Twitter, if you at somebody, then say your thing. Like, hey, like if you said at Jackbox Games, Madverse City is acting up for us on the servers.
No, I would DM that.
Yeah, or a DM. But, only because that doesn't fall necessarily in everybody's timeline when you're having those kind of conversations.
Right.
So even, so that's even a little bit more private for me.
Yep.
Not that people shouldn't be held accountable. I think they should. And I think it's good that we have social media to do that or to let people know what's going on. But I still think rage culture, I still don't like it. And I'm not saying that it hasn't made changes in a good direction, but I think it's gotten a little out of hand with some things.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Christopher?
I've tried to do more like taking Ed's example, honest, and like if I really like a game or I like the way an actor, which I don't usually pay as much attention to the credits to know like, oh, every single actor is in every game. But like if Troy Baker does something, and obviously I know it when he's in a game, a lot of times I might be like, hey, you did a great job in this, or some other voice actor or developer or whatever like that. I try to make a point of going on social media in some way and saying, hey, I really enjoyed this or whatever. Because like Ed said a minute ago and has said previously, it doesn't really do it's a great thing to just go ahead and pat them on the back. They're getting enough crap, from all these other people. It's like be the positivity on the side. I'm kind of in the same camp as Tim or more along the thinking of like I will not go on Twitter and usually I won't even mention the developer or whatever if I'm having an issue with a game or a piece of tech or whatever it might be. Sometimes I do, but I feel like I almost feel like a bit of an obligation to like be transparent about issues that I've run into with different things. Now it's a little bit different with games because games sometimes are maybe a glitch. It's no big deal. Like if it's a glitch that broke the game, I'm going to go out and say that because I feel like, hey, this is fair warning to people who maybe haven't jumped in yet. I'm running into these issues, but I don't do it in a way where I'm like cussing up a storm and saying that developer shouldn't be alive anymore or any of that crazy stuff. Like I don't take it to that level. Like for instance, I had a lot of issues when I was taking delivery of my Tesla. And there was a lot of things there where I did not feel were particularly happily or done the best way. And I was like, this is my situation that I'm dealing with. If anybody's interested in going this. And I think I may have added Tesla at one point, but it wasn't like I wasn't yelling at them or anything. I was just like, hey, just so you're aware, here's where I am and I'm dealing with this here in this part of town. Those kinds of things. Like to me, it's kind of, I think you should let people know things are going on so that it's not just totally like, I had no idea there were these issues with this, that, or whatever. But at the same time, I think there's a way you can do it that's not just being outraged, not just like throwing everything in the wind. I mean, just being more transparent about it. But I don't do it unless I have an actual real grievance that's a big problem. Like if I just, my game crashed once, I'm not going to go on Twitter, oh my gosh, this game crashed, 2 out of 10. I'm not doing that kinds of stuff.
Right,
yeah. Good question.
Yeah, that's great. Very good question. Moving on, Discord, Calm Fury. What's the first thing you want to do in Red Dead Redemption 2? I want to go to a saloon and order a whiskey while I pour one out for myself. Wink.
Nah. First thing I want to do is watch one of these guys play it on YouTube or Twitch.
Well, that'll be Ed.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to start it up. I've stayed so media blackout. I don't know what there is to do. I just want to start it up and play.
Nice.
There you go. Tim, are you going to play?
No, I'm just going to load Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, man.
Are you planning to play it at all, Gabe?
I don't think so. Even though I want to, I want to try it, but no, I probably won't play it.
Redbox it. That's your thing, yeah?
Yeah, I might do that.
Oh, Redbox game.
Which, by the way, the Nintendo Switch red box has made its way to Nashville, so that's nice.
Is that right?
So when I go to, you
nice.
can't do it on the app like you can the Xbox and PlayStation games. But if I go to Redbox, Nintendo Switch is one of the options under games, and so I can rent Nintendo Switch games here. That's how I played.
That's awesome.
Mario Aces.
Now you can play Hangman on the Switch.
Exactly. Nice.
All right, the wrong. Life can sometimes throw you a curveball, and we do our best to hit it out of the park. For example, I recently got a new job in California and moved my family from Japan, where we lived for 10 years. Now we're looking for a house, another car, church, and learning to drive on the right side of the road.
I know that's right. Hopefully you can go to work for Telltale.
That's right. So my question to you guys is, if you had to pick your nose in public, would it be for a small booger or a large? I love this question.
I mean, if you're gonna go for it,
So great.
you go big or you go home.
Yeah, man, but you need a Kleenex on that. I'd go small.
Man, you flick. I mean, unless you're in a car,
Depends.
that's a little different.
It was a scratch. It wasn't a pick. I'm going for I'm hoping to get a small one that's kind of on the right there on the rim, so I can get it with like my knuckle and kind of not look like I'm picking
a
my
bat
nose.
in the cave, and then you're out. Yep.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But as I've mentioned before, I get some bats in the cave. So
Me too, brother. Me too.
every now and then you got to check
Ed?
yourself before you wreck yourself.
I guess a small. If it's big, if I feel like it's big, I'm just gonna go blow my nose.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Let's say you're poking around.
Okay.
I can't believe we're having this discussion right now.
And it seems to be bigger than you think.
Then you anticipate.
Oh yeah, see that's what
Do
happens to
you
me all the time.
excuse yourself, or do you just like go ahead and get it since you're there?
I excuse myself.
You do?
And then I go get it, but I get it
Yeah, I would
real
too.
slow so it tingles when it comes out.
Oh, that's weird.
Nice.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
creepy all at the same
Yes.
time. No, that's awesome.
I say, I think I'd go ahead and get that thing. If I was like,
Would
oh
you
snap,
really?
that's a little bigger than I thought. Let me go. Since my finger's here, let's just get it real quick. And then try to find a tissue.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Facebook, Matthew Sorta. Halloween-themed question. If you had to have a pumpkin as your head for the rest of your life, what facial expression would you want it carved in it?
Horrible.
That just really wide smile. That scary one.
Yeah, I'm going sinister smile.
Ooh. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's Halloween related. So you got to be something scary or mean or.
Yeah, but the question is, what do you want for the rest of your life on your head?
I mean,
It's
it's going to
Halloween
be
related because the question, not
Yeah,
the answer
but
doesn't have to be
I
Halloween
mean,
related.
the origin of the reason that you got that head is something. I mean, I feel like I would still have something sinister as well. Just I think that'd be more fun if you're gonna have a weird,
Yeah.
goofy pumpkin head or something.
Yeah, I
like that.
definitely want to go. Yeah, intimidating. Ed?
Yeah.
Really? I'll just do the smiley face. I don't want to scare people.
Nice.
I'm already going to be scaring them because I have a pumpkin head.
That's true. That's true.
That's going to be weird enough.
Good question.
All right, here we go. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to go to Twitter, and I'm going to go to Josh Stapleton at MTTG Street Team. So here we go.
Street team.
So this is a debate club. For the non-debaters, one of you must be the judge, based off debating skills, not personal preference.
Okay.
The oldest debater goes first. Here's round one. Ed versus Gabe. And I guess because I'm the oldest, I have to judge.
Oldest in spirit.
Best holiday and why? Ed, you go first.
Your anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your anniversary is, that's the best holiday. So everyone's best holiday is different.
Ooh. All right.
Okay. Gabe?
Christmas.
Yeah.
Enough said, Bishop. It's the birth of birth of Savior of the world.
I think Gabe wins that round. Not because I agree with him, but and I love the sentiment, but I mean, if we're thinking overall, Christmas I think kind of wins.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Here we go.
Chris.
It's me versus Chris.
Oh, that's right. And then
So
Ed
that
judges.
means Ed judges. Best holiday dessert. Oh, we're totally going to disagree on this one.
Chris, you go
Holiday
first.
Dessert.
Warm fruit.
No.
Exactly.
That won't even be on the docket. Holiday dessert. I mean, well, I don't know if this is I don't think this is really traditional, but a lot of times in the past I've had for Thanksgiving banana pudding, and I like banana pudding. So I don't know if that's a traditional Thanksgiving dessert, but that's what I'm going to go with.
This is going to be easy, Tim.
This will be easy. I'm going Thanksgiving pumpkin pie for the win.
Tim wins.
Yeah, pumpkin pie's all right, but
Okay. All right. So Gabe, you won round 1. I won round 2. So you and I face off in the last one.
Okay.
And I guess Chris, you and Ed can judge.
Okay.
So it's between us. Best holiday movie.
Oh, shoot.
This is going to be tough. I
Better
think.
get this right.
why
Best
couldn't I get
holiday
this
movie?
question?
I'm going with
Right.
Die Hard. Because
It's going to be tough to beat.
it gives you a little bit of everything. You get the action, you get Bruce Willis, but it's still a Christmas movie, but you don't really think of it as a Christmas movie until you see it and you're like, oh, snap, yeah, this was a Christmas movie. How dope is this, man? There's no better Christmas movie than this one.
I'm going with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, shoot, I've never seen it.
I'm going with Gabe.
Yay!
I think Chris is going there too.
I will say I do think Christmas Vacation is one that you can watch now, Gabe, and I feel like it would hold up.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it would definitely.
Even
watch
with
that
the
one.
sound effects, they had sound effects in that movie.
Sound Did it have
Like
sound
when you-
effects?
Effects in current movies, it's
remember.
just people getting punched.
No, but like they have joke punchline sound effects.
How do you
like
know if you haven't
boings?
seen it? I don't remember sound
No,
effects.
not really.
Because we
they
used a bunch of their clips back when we did Winter Wonder Slam. We used a bunch of their clips interspersed throughout the concert.
Wow, I
And
don't
so
remember
in
that.
between songs, we would throw up some National Lampoons. We used Charlie Brown and stuff like that. So it's like there was one I don't even remember when they're going to get the tree and they're like, "How are we going to get it in the car?" And it goes,
Yeah.
wah, wah,
There's
wah, wah,
that.
wah, wah, wah. And you're like, "Oh,
Wow.
brother."
To me, I think that's the only one.
forgot that.
To be honest,
Yes.
yeah, that's the only sound effect in there. I think.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember that. It's been a long time since I saw it, but I do feel like I would, if it came on TV tomorrow, I don't have a copy of it, but if it came on like cable or something, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I'd sit down and stay and watch it
All
again.
right. So is Gabe the big winner? I think Gabe's
Yeah.
the big debate winner on this
You
one.
can go with Gabe.
I got lucky. I got
Nice.
lucky. Thank
Well
you,
done,
guys.
sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right. I'm going to save some of these other questions
Yeah,
for next week.
Sorry, this is my fault. I got to go.
Yep. No worries.
I got to go take the churn to
No,
school.
Thank
Don't
you,
give him a
everybody.
pass, it's
Yeah.
his fault. No.
Thank you, guys. The question of the week for you guys is, would you pay $500
Nope.
for your favorite game's
Nope.
super
Nope.
special?
Nope.
You're not, wait, Ed, I'm not done with my supers. Super
No.
duper ultra specific special box set.
Nope.
Oh, in that case, no.
Yes. What about that now, Ed? Okay. Chris?
That's a no for me.
Chris, yes, right?
Yes. Possibly.
And I think so,
Depends.
yes, too, for me. Well, of course, it depends, but
Yeah.
you got to make sure this has got to be the best thing ever. Now, it can't be something that's like, and then they give me $1 million. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
everybody would do
I'll
that.
just go with yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with yes as well. You guys let us know. Use hashtag answer MTTG. We'll send it out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Edward, thank you for editing this week while I'm at rehearsals, getting ready for this tour. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. 319.
You got
Nine.
it.
So that's what I titled it.
Nailed it.
Hit the books. It's your boy Gabe Patillo, Tim Router,
Sir.
Ed Placencia,
Super
Dramatic pause.
Ed Placencia.
Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!